That's where I'm at. So I called up there, and Nancy's lady talked to that lady up there, and she hung up on me. Yeah, I was talking to her, and the phone just went dead. Like 30 minutes ago, whatever. Before I called you back and got you. That I was on the phone with somebody there. Said she VA crisis lady. Asked me for my last name, my last four, and then the phone disconnected.
Sorry to hear that. Again, that sounds strange how those things happen. You don't deserve to be have your call disrupted like that, especially nobody trying to call you back.
They might try to call back. I don't know. I just uh, I just called the number again. Got some lady on there said she was in Birmingham. Told her I wasn't in Birmingham. She said, "Well, to call back." So you're actually the third person I've talked to tonight.
Okay. You said you're not in Birmingham, but they've been sending you to Texas and Birmingham.
Yeah, I think my phone number is got an old Birmingham. The phone number I had in Birmingham is the number that's on this phone. It's a 205 area code, and I don't know if that has anything to do with how they route this call or whatever. But I don't live in Birmingham anymore. I moved out here about 3 years ago. I moved back here to my mom to trying to get myself reestablished out here in Texas, and my mom died, and I couldn't stay there with my stepdad, so I just had to move out of there, real fast. And I moved out of there, and all these people, my family, telling me, they were going to help me get your stuff out of that storage building, because that costs you X amount of dollars. Just get down here. I moved into this place. My rent was like $900 a month. It's almost all my money. Paying that storage building at $900 a month. And so uh, the virus thing happened, and I still kind of trapped. I couldn't do nothing because all that was going on. And eventually, I bought this little trailer with all the money that I had in my savings account. I bought this trailer, and lived right down the street from my cousin. And my dad has buildings all up and down this highway. And he's probably drives past here 3 times a day. I thought, they said they wanted to have my brother died. My brother died first before my mom died. My brother died, and I came back here. I was living in Birmingham. I came back here, and went to the funeral. And before that next day, my cousin was taking me back to the airport, and my dad said he wanted to talk to me meet him up there at the donut place on my way to the airport. We want to be a family, and talk to us again and all this kind of stuff. And so I moved back, went back home to Birmingham. I got the 90% service connected disability rated from the VA. I got some back pay with that, so I said, "Oh no, I want to move back to Texas and be around these people in my family that say they want, to be involved with me again or whatever, because I need help." But I moved back into my mom's at first. I got all my teeth pulled out of my mouth, and my mom died, and so I had to move out of there. And I moved down here to this area. My cousins live down here, my aunts and uncles, my dad, and all the people live down here. My sisters, all of them live down here, and none of them doing anything to help me. Not anything to help me. So I'm like, that ain't a big deal to me because they ain't been around for 20 and 30 years. It ain't that big a deal, you know. But I'm stuck down here. I can't get up to Houston to do these MRI like they're telling me to do. I just got them letters the other day, and the same day I got these letters to do these MRIs, I got the bills from the other MRIs. Like, how y'all paying for these MRIs and y'all saying y'all don't have them and y'all just paying for them and telling me that I gotta go do them again? But now y'all want me to go 60 miles up to Houston. I don't even own a vehicle. I can't even ride that far. I can hardly go to the grocery store with somebody else driving me up there. You know, I'll be up all night that night hurting because of that physical activity.
Again, it sounds like they put you through a lot of pain.
I think they do it on purpose. They're trying to kill me. They want me to die. They save them so much money, and there's nothing happens if the veterans commit suicide. It just doesn't hurt the VA, and it saves them money. They don't have to pay my benefits anymore. You know, I get $1,300 a month or something like that, or whatever from the VA as 90% service connected disability. They wouldn't have to pay that no more. All just goes away. That's what I'm telling you. They say 22 veterans a day commit suicide. I'm telling you that's why, because they're being neglected up there. And you call these people supposed to help you, and they just make it worse, because then you find out that all them people are full of shit too. I've called the White House. I've called the Office of the Inspector General. I've filed a lawsuit. Don't even know where that's at. I've asked for them to send me all these paperwork, and none of that's been 3 months, 4 months, and none of that paperwork showed up. I asked for a new doctor. All of a sudden, none of it. He said all of a sudden my dad just showed up here one day and said they want you to come over here to the clinic. This lady saying she's going to help you. And I go over there, and there's all these people on the computer screen saying, oh, this guy's in charge of this, and this guy's in charge of that, and this lady's in charge of this, and this lady's in charge of that. And you just got to go up there to the hospital. You know, so I told, okay. And I went up there to that hospital, and I was up there for, like I said, 7, 8, 9 days. I don't even remember. But in end of it, I'm like, y'all don't even have my MRIs here. Y'all tell me to do all this stuff. Y'all don't even know what y'all are treating. They tell me they won't give me steroid injection because it makes your bones brittle and all this other stuff. I'm like, I had no problem in the private sector getting the steroid injection in my back once a quarter. You know, with steroid injections and muscle relaxers was all I needed. And that's been, 3 years since I left Birmingham and came back here and got into this VA network, and it's all gone downhill from there,
Yeah. And it sounds like things changed rapidly working with this other VA.
It's just so much better if it didn't happen at all.
You said they had you on a different regimen before, though? They were giving you a steroid shot?
Yeah, I was on the Obamacare. I was on the health care that every other American can have if they don't work. You can Medicare, Medicaid, or you can have Obamacare. Whatever, And that's what I had. I had a doctor there at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB. If you're familiar with UAB is big medical branch of the University of Alabama in Birmingham. They got hospitals down there. I got a doctor there, and she ordered this pool therapy for me and home health care people to come help me. The VA wasn't doing it. I was in the homeless veterans program at that point, as I hadn't had this 90% service-connected disability yet. Took 10 years to get that. For 10 years, I just lived in the homeless veterans program, barely enough money to survive on. Barely enough money to survive on. They come over there and asked me to need help. I told them I was, having trouble getting food. They told me to go the United Way. The guy come over there and said, my electric bill, I got the money to pay it. I'm having trouble getting down there to the power company to pay it. The guy said, I'll come out there Tuesday. I'll take you down there, to pay your power bill. Never showed up. They left the VA homeless veterans social worker guy. No call, no show. You know, it's just broken. But I got this 90% service-connected disability. I thought it might be different. You know, I thought it might be in a different category at the clinic down there because they put you in different. If you're 100% disabled or you're retiree, you're in like class A. If you're 90, 80, 70%, you're in class B. If you have no service connection whatsoever, you're in class C or whatever. You know, I thought maybe it'll be different now. I'm service connected and be down here with my family and with, you know, all that together. Maybe things will be different. But it's been 3 years now. It's been 3 years. I haven't even had an injection in my back that I've been asking for since I got here. You know, the first clinic I went to was up there by my mom's house. And told that guy, I said, look, I'm coming back here from Alabama. I've been under this treatment regimen. These are the people that have been treating me. I hand-delivered him all the MRIs and reports from that clinic and told him, you know, I need some help. I need to get into something here. I need these injections to keep going because it's the only thing that keeps me, you know, able to get up and get out of bed every day is, you know, every 3 months I get this injection in my thoracic spine, which the VA didn't know nothing about. It would never even bother to do the MRIs. I kept complaining to them, and I finally got to a civilian doctor outside the VA, and they did MRIs with contrast and said you got 2 compression fractures on 2 discs in the middle of your back. So I got 2 bad discs in my lower back, including 2 of them that have been screwed together already and it's coming apart. 2 of them crushed in the middle of my back between my shoulder blades, and 5 of them in my neck. So it don't matter which, if I lay on my stomach or if I lay on my back, something's going to hurt. If I lay on my back, you know, my lower back and the middle of my back hurts. If I lay on my stomach, then my neck hurts. So you can't lay with your face straight in the bed. I can't twist my neck to either side because of this. I said I wake up, if I'm sleeping on my stomach, my arms are going to be numb, my hands are going to be tingling when I wake up. That's how I wake up. Something's hurting me. When as soon as I wake up, I'm waking up because something's hurting me. I was just trying to get up and drink some coffee or something to get out of the bed, and I go in there and lay down on the couch. You know, and I might have a couple of hours there in transition where it's not so bad, but by the end of the night, you know, I come back here and lay down, and I'm hurting so bad I can't sleep. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Right now, it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Again, it sounds like it's been an awful amount of pain that you've been dealing with, and a lot of frustration trying to get help through the VA, trying to get representation, doing about everything you can do. It's not your fault. These people, it sounds like you've been dealing with a lot of just turnaround dismissals. That's extremely frustrating because you or nobody else in the healthcare system deserves to be treated that way. And I'm not sure why the things that have happened.
Well, that's what I was asking that lady tonight. You know, she said she worked for the VA. I said, can you see my records there? She said, yeah, I can see, you know, what's your thing. And I'm saying, you know, this is my last name, this is my last 4. So why are they asking me to do these MRIs? They're already supposed to have them there. And then she hung up on me.
Right. Have you called that same number back and it got you through here?
Well, I called her back in, and that lady said she was in Birmingham, but she couldn't help me because she's in Birmingham, and so I just called back again. But I guess again it rings. It must be just ringing in Birmingham because it's recognizing this area code on this phone at 205. But I don't live in Birmingham anymore. But my phone number is a Birmingham phone number. because that's where I was. I was in Birmingham. I lived there for like 3 years or whatever. And God, I wish I'd have stayed there because I was getting health care there. It was not the VA, but I got that service connected thing, and so my my rent was only like $300 a month when I was in the homeless veterans program. But once once I got that 90% service connected disability, my rent was going to go up to like $1,100 a month, and I couldn't afford that. And so I said, well, I'll just move back to Houston and get my teeth fixed. I had all my teeth pulled out at one day. They pulled all my teeth out in one day, and my teeth are all messed up from that medicine they put me on there. Put all my teeth out in one day, and and then sew your gums up. They put them inserts in my mouth. I paid them $10,000, and they're not working. But I can't even go up there to get them things fixed because that's in Houston. I can't even go up there to get my and that doesn't cost me nothing because I already paid for it. And I told the lady, I called her back and said, these things ain't fitting in my mouth right. But I don't know when I can get up there to see somebody because I don't have no way to get up there. And then the next thing I get a letter from the VA telling me to come up there and do these MRIs. I was like, I can't even go up there to get my teeth fixed for free. Hell, you think I can come up there and do the MRIs that in the same day I get two bills that say that y'all paying for the other MRIs? Makes no sense to me whatsoever. The taxpayers are paying for that. And then the fact that they're doing all this physical therapy for me and don't even know what's wrong with me. They're aggravating them other underlying conditions that they don't know anything about because they haven't seen the things. Despite me telling them, I've got 2 compression fractures in my thoracic spine. I've got 5 bad discs in my neck that get worse towards the center. And the steel bracket that y'all put in my back is coming loose down there somehow. And they're telling me to go up there and walk all over this thing and ride this bicycle and stuff. And I try to tell them, I don't hardly get upright at all. I got an electric scooter I've had for 5 years out there. I get up from my bed. If I can get out of the bed, I'll go in there and sit down on the couch. I try to do it every day so I can get upright. It's hurting my shoulders to just lay here on the bed. I'm laying on one shoulder or the other shoulder. Yet just lay here on the flat on your back and stare at the ceiling. So I gotta lay on one side or the other, and that's tearing my shoulders apart, where they're just like popping out of the joint. If I just twist my arm, I can just pop it out here, just sit here if I want to pop out. And the lady said something about my ligament, like popping your knuckles. No, it ain't like popping my knuckles, lady. My shoulders are destroyed. Just like my knees and my hips are from pulling all that damn equipment around. But y'all are so damn smart up here that y'all can make all these medical decisions without even looking at any of the damn MRIs. It's because there's no accountability up there and they don't care. They don't care. Nobody seems to care. The congressman doesn't care. My senators don't seem to care. My family doesn't care. Which as far as I'm concerned, I don't care less about them either. I've already put them out of my shit. For years and years I ain't talked to my dad. I mean, I haven't had an easy life all the way around, but I joined the military because I thought that was my way out. And I went into the service and I did real good. Got an achievement medal, military service above and beyond the call. Went to a rescue and recovery mission there in Germany, pick all these bodies up. One of our planes crashed into a town there in Germany. We had to go pick all them people up, man, put them in Ziploc bags. But I did it, and got a medal for that. You guys exemplary and brought brought uh, pride or whatever reflected on yourself and the Air Force. You know, you did your job and you did it with honor and respect. And I did everything the best I could, you know. And I left Germany, I came back here to Charleston Air Force Base in the Gulf War, taking physical abuse from our senior sergeant there, cussing at us and hollering at us all the time. I couldn't take all that, you know. I got out and came back here and went to work at Dow Chemical and learned to be a welder, a journeyman welder. You know, 5 years of service at Dow Chemical, and they got laid off, and then went to the University of Texas and got my bachelor's degree from UT. I'm just driven, you know. Played football for the base football team in Germany. Golf, swim, scuba dive, played, you know, tennis, racquetball, whatever. I mean, it's always been very active. And now I can't get up out of my bed, hardly wipe my ass, and ask the VA for help, and they get nothing. Go to my congressman, ask my congressman for help, and the lady comes to me and asks me what the laws are. You'd write the laws. Your boss is the one that's writing them. How in the hell am I supposed to tell you what your job is, lady? How are you even in charge of this? How are you even the veterans contact? And you don't even know what you're doing up there. Tell me they want me to go into some institution in Houston, some old folks home. I'm 52 years old. No need for me to be like this, other than the fact that they just ain't helping me because they're so incompetent. Tell me one thing one day, we can't give you injections because it makes your bone weak. So I'm leaving then. Well, we'll give you injections then. Well, which is it? You tell me one day you can't do it because it's going to make my bones weak, and the next day you tell me that you're going to do it? Which is it? You know, give me the damn injections. I'm in the hospital. I'm there in the hospital, in there almost 10 days, and y'all didn't do nothing in there for me. Nothing. The last 2 days on there, I didn't even eat. I refused every tray of food they brought in there. I didn't even want to eat food. I didn't take any of their medicine. Didn't want none of their food. Just let me go home. I can suffer like this at my house. You know, my little cat was been in here for 10 days with nobody here. She don't know what's going on. Can't trust my dad to do shit over here. God says let me go back home. I came back home. I turned my phone off. Or just like a 90-day thing. The 90-day thing expired on my phone. I just let it expire. I need to talk to nobody. I ain't talking to nobody anyway. Don't go nowhere. Don't do nothing. And everybody that I talk to just makes me more upset because they're lying to me or they don't do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah. And again, getting a runaround like that is beyond frustrating.
That's why I turned my phone off, and I felt so much better. You know, I said, look, I gotta read, I gotta read, we gotta look at this in a different perspective. You know, you don't work, you got food to eat. I got this trailer now. I can't be evicted out of here. It's my trailer. I bought it, so it's my trailer. I can't be thrown out of here. And just turned the phone off, and I felt so much better, you know. And the next thing I know, my dad shows up over here and says, VA's calling him and saying that they want you to come down there to the clinic, you know. And I go down there, and apparently the chief of staff of the Houston Michael E. DeBakey VA Medical Center is on the conference thing there. There's one square on the computer, and the social worker lady's on another square, and this other guy's on there in another square, and all this stuff. And I said, okay. You know, they sent me up there to the ER. They checked me in. They gave me a shot of fentanyl in IV, and it hurt so bad. It's a painkiller, but it hurt me so bad because them muscles were so tight in my arm, in my shoulder, and my neck were just in a knot. And to let go, when they let go, it hurt, man. It was like pouring fire in my veins. It just burned all the way in there. It took like 10 minutes for that thing to take effect before I could actually just lay there and go, oh my God, it feels so much better now. To get that relief, that the muscles were just in a knot in there. That whole muscle group, it just, like I was telling you, it's pulling my shoulder out of the socket. And got upstairs, and I thought, well, hell, maybe these guys are going to help me, And 5 days, 6 days went by, nothing's really happened. They're making me do this physical therapy, even with the pain medicine that they were giving me. I'm saying, man, this is killing me. I can't do all this physical activity. I need to be in a swimming pool doing that stuff. Well, the pool's closed, and we're not giving you these injections because they make your bones weak or some shit like that. And then they come in and say, now we're not even going to give you pain medication. We're gonna taper you off the pain medication. I said, you ain't got to taper me off of anything. I ain't been on this pain medicine for 5 days, and it's just 3 of these oxycodone 3 times a day. That ain't nothing to me. That's nothing to me. I've been taking pain medicine since I was 22 years old. When that first disc ruptured in my lower back in the service. I hurt my back on the flight line during the Gulf War. I wasn't in a combat zone, so it don't matter. Even though it was our planes that were carrying all that shit over there. I was at Charleston Air Force Base. There's only two cargo air bases on the eastern seaboard. There's Charleston and Dover in Delaware. That's where all the cargo that flew overseas was leaving. In the United States, these are left from Charleston, from Dover. One day we had over 70 aircraft come in and out of that base, C-141s. And it was just a huge workload. And I was on the flight line and doing my job, and my lower back popped. My sergeant was there when it happened. They took me to the Naval Hospital over there, put me on light duty, gave me all these painkillers. But go to work, do your job. But we're going to give you all this pain medicine, you're numb or whatever, but no physical therapy, no anything. Just take these pills and do your job. And so, like I was telling you, my sergeant was cussing and hollering at us all the time, and I couldn't take that. I took it in basic training because I thought, well, that's what basic training's all about. But I couldn't take it working at this job with this guy talking to me like that, And so when it came time for me to get out, I got out. I had a job waiting for me at Dow Chemical. My dad said, don't tell me anything about your back because they won't hire you. I kept all that on the down low. And every 3 or 4 years, it would go out. And I'd end up at the doctor, and it was the same thing every time. Pain medicine, physical therapy, 3 months, at the most 3 months. And then it was over. And I'd be back to normal and just keep on going until it happened again, Little did I know that all that stuff was just tore up in my back. And the older I got, the worse it got. Until I ended up there in Houston. After I graduated from college, I had no medical insurance. And ended up at the VA hospital. And from there, it went all downhill. Just totally went downhill.
Something they really overwork you. They put you in a position that basically set you up for injury. And it's just incredibly wrong that you're not being treated for the injury that you sustained while in service.
Well, no, back then they didn't have ergonomics. They didn't talk about all them things back then. And I'm a big guy. I said I played on the base football team, but they were Division I athletes. That wasn't no bullshit. It was hard to get on the base team. I had guys tell me don't buy cleats because you're just going to waste your money because they're not going to take you because there's some talented guys out there. But those grown men. I'm 6 foot tall. I'm right now at 250. Back then I was 220, but I was a big guy, and I loved doing my job. I worked on the flight line. I worked with F-16s and F-4 Phantoms, man, and I loved it. The badass attack aircraft, and to coin a Marine phrase, I was gung ho about it. Look in my rearview mirror driving at work, and there's two F-16 taxiing behind me. I had to pull off the side of the road, let them go by. I mean, that's a thrilling thing, The jets just wash, they just rocking your truck around as they go by. It's thrilling, But it's all a speed thing. When they do their war games, they go ICTs, an integrated combat turn. They launch that plane, they recover it, download it, upload it, and shoot it again. And that's what they do all day long. That's how they grade their performances, by how fast they can turn them planes around. And all of it's done with my equipment. And when one is done, Shelter 19, the bird comes back, it's uploaded and leaves again, and they want all that equipment jerked off of 19 and taken to 21 or 13 or 2 or whatever. Hey, that plane's clearing out there. The next one that's coming back is going to be on Chapter 13. We need the Dash 60 move. We need the bomb truck move. We need the air compressor move, whatever. And you got to go out there, and the Dash 60 is out there. It's all undone. You got to roll the cable up. This big, huge-ass power cord that puts power onto the plane. The bleed air thing's all undone. You got to put that on top, and then you got to push that thing to your truck. And it's like pushing a Volkswagen. It's probably 2,000 pounds. It has a 70-gallon gas tank on it. You got to push that thing to your truck. Sometimes it's 4 feet, sometimes it's 20 yards. If it's sitting in there underneath the aircraft wing, if they leave it underneath the plane, you can't drive your truck up in there. You got to pull that thing all the way out to your truck, pulling that thing 20, 30 yards on the hill. Sometimes you just wedge down in there. Your body's like 30 degrees to the ground. You're pulling that thing with all your weight to get it to your truck, to hook it up to the bumper, every day. That's all you do every day. And they know that he's a big guy. He can handle it. He likes it, man. He's going to do his job good. I mean, there was nothing in the ICT that I didn't know about, man. The bomb truck, the bomb truck has died out there. The bomb truck has died out there. I have a pocket full of fuses, and I just popped a fuse, man. I go up there, open the cabinet, put a new fuse in there, and them guys are just loving it because their shit just goes like grease, It's all just smooth, and you're it's a thrilling thing to do, man, and you're loving it, but you don't think about the physical toll on your body that it's doing. It's just tearing your body up, all your joints, everything in your body. You're pulling that thing with everything you got. It's the Dash 60 is like a 13. It's like a helicopter engine on a cart with a 70-gallon gas tank. It's big old giant copper, 70-foot long copper cable that they plug into the plane. It's heavy. But, they ain't nobody thinking about you. They just, all they want is that thing moved. They want it moved yesterday. They call you on the radio and say, go get it from here and take it to there. And when none of that's happening, you're picking them up and taking them in for fuel. And like I said, if they're parked under a plane, you got to pull it clear of the plane. You can't, they have a big old yellow stripe parked in front of that shelter that you can't encroach in the vehicle. If you do and hit that plane, then you're going to pay for it. It's a multi-million-dollar plane, F-16. Hit that thing with your truck, man, you'll be paying for that the rest of your life. So, I didn't break no rules. I did what I thought was right, and it was tearing my body up. I was 22 years old when my lower back went out. But my first disc was L4, L5. I was 22. And that doctor at the VA said, you're too young to have back problems. I said, yeah, but I do have back problems, so something's wrong, isn't it? but they just know so much up there. They don't even need to see your medical records to know what to do because they're so smart. And that's the same guy that they come in there. I was like, Dr. Ghosh. I said, hey, man, I filed a lawsuit to the VA on that guy. How the hell is he even? He should be recused from even reading my stuff because I'm filing a lawsuit on him for his incompetence. And at the end of the day, he's making these things and hadn't even seen. He's looking at records that are 10 years old. And I know that because they're telling me to go to Conroe, man. That was like 10 years ago. How you tell me to go to Conroe, man? I haven't been to that clinic in years. I've lived in another state for 3 years before that. I called the Congress's office down here. Ken Weber, the congressman, I think it's the 14th district down here. And got this lady on the phone, and she told me she's going to help me, and she asked me to bring her these records and stuff, which I haven't got any of it back. And I was talking to this guy that I knew, like I said, years ago, and he's like, he looked her up, and she worked, for Ron Paul, and that was like 10, 15 years ago. That was the first. I called his office because that's all they were doing was giving me pain pills. I said, this pain pills ain't going to work. Something's wrong with my back, and these pain pills are not the solution. I need some kind of surgical intervention here. And he said, that's the same lady you talked to back then. Ron Paul had been in office for 10 years. This new guy, Ken Weber, or whatever, I guess they just keep the same staff on. I don't know what the deal is, but she don't know what the hell she's doing. She don't even know what the Mission Act is. That's the thing. Is, like I said, if you're like 45 miles or other serious impediments from you getting wherever you're at to the main VA hospital there, that you can see somebody in your local community, orthopedics, whatever. And that's what I asked for. I said, can I see a doctor? I'm down here in Angleton, where I graduated from high school. I'm supposed to be around this family of mine down here. It's all I got left. My mom died. Just all I got left is my dad's side. And 4th of July week comes and goes, and I ain't seen nobody. So I don't got much more support down here than I did anywhere else. But I shouldn't have to, The VA's supposed to take care of our stuff. We can't get to the VA hospital. We're supposed to be able to get to some place in our community down here. And so far, ain't nothing happened. 3 years, I just don't know how much more of it I can take. I went there and bought this whiskey and start drinking this whiskey. Just trying to get my tolerance built up enough where I can sit down there and drink a half a bottle of it or whatever and get so wasted that I won't be in my right mind, and I can't imagine that God would hold me at fault for that. I'm just gonna come back here and lay on this bed and put my head in, and I got 2 big old cast iron skillets in there. I'll just lay them on this bed, and that bullet ain't gonna go anywhere but into that pan. So it ain't gonna hurt nobody else. I just worry about my cat because she's so afraid of everybody. I don't want her to be stuck in here and not anybody knows she's in here because she'll hide. She's gonna hide. She wouldn't come out for nobody. She would hide. That's how she came to be mine. She was hiding in the roof in my apartment. She was stuck up in the crawl space between the first and second floor. I don't know how many days she was up in there, but she started crying. I guess she was hungry or something. Started crying, and I walked around the building and knocked on my neighbor's door and trying to find out where this cat was at, and found a little service panel that was above my washer and dryer. And I opened that with a broom and shined a flashlight up in there and saw these little green eyes looking down. And I had to leave that thing open and just put food down. I opened some tuna fish and put it on the ground there for her. And in about 3 or 4 days, the whole time she finally came out there to get food, and I was able to trap her. And she was real scared, of that. So she won't hide from anybody that comes in here. She was hiding from me. And I just can't. I was scared of all of that. Her being trapped in here, dying in here by herself like that. And I'm not. But she goes outside at night, like right now, late at night. She'll go out there in the middle of the night when it's dark. She won't even go out there during the daylight because she's scared. And she goes out like 2 or 3 times. She's gone out, and I've fallen asleep back there. And she'll stay gone until the next night. She won't come back out through the day at all. So I get to go lock her outside. She'll run off and hide, and when she comes back, you know, there's people around here or whatever they try to out here. I don't know what they do. That happens. You know, sometimes they will come eventually. Somebody will come in here and say, "God, I paid the rent," or I don't know. I was thinking maybe start thinking so bad. That's what I told her. There's one guy you talk to. Man, I'll be here. I'll be stinking here for like 5 weeks. And if she's locked outside, she'll know something's wrong. She'll find somewhere else to go. She won't be trapped in here. At least she won't be trapped in here. Starved to death. That's all I worry about. This was the only thing that kept me from good so long. I've had a bunch of cats. I love cats. All of them I've had for 25 years. Been cats. Never been married. Can't have a relationship with nobody. Ever since I got to the airport after going to that plane crash, picking all these people up, digging through their personal space. We took us there for like 3 days. We walked around plastic bags and picked these things up and put them in a bag. Kneecap, fingers, brain matter, whatever. Be a line of you walking down a hill or whatever. Pilot head was up in a tree. His head with everything stuck up in a tree. His hair with his oxygen mask and the hose with his oxygen lines hanging up there in the tree. Find somebody say stop. Everybody stop. They pass you up a tag. You put a tag on the stake, the tag in the bag, pass the bag down to the people, and they put that stuff on the grid and mark it out, trying to figure out what body parts belong to what person. Seems like 8 civilians died in the pilot. The A-10 crashed in that building and burnt down like 5 residential houses in Remscheid, Germany. They've been protesting low-level flying in Germany the whole time I've been over there. I just thought it was the noise, you know. But there was a big town there. I forget what the big town is there. I try not to think about it. All the people came marching from the town there, big protest or whatever, marching big banners, and thousands of people came marching up there to the crash site. Now we had to be evacuated because they're mad at us. And I felt so terrible about that, you know. All the people died there. And when they come up there, mad at us, they load us up all into trucks and evacuate us out there. We spent the better part of the next week out at the dump, going through the dump, digging through all the stuff that they had picked up there at the crash site, took it out there to the dump, and we went out there and looked for classified aircraft components and any personal effects, any signs, people, photos, money, all kinds of things. Things you should see that stuff. Not good. It was a terrible nightmare. And I do dream. That's what I dream about. So the people coming up out of the ground trying to pull me underneath that stuff that's dumb. I'll never forget it. They had mass casualties, things like that. Big hotel that fell down in Florida or whatever. And it just brings all that stuff right back in front of my mind. I come up here and I think about it. When that stuff all over the news, there's anything without hearing about it. That's all I think about. I joined the Air Force just because I thought, not like the Army, I was joining to go kill people. I said, we're going to be in a war. I joined the Air Force. I thought it was a good war. I mean, 3 years, that's all it was just practice. But got to Charleston, and they're at a basketball game at the Citadel playing Duke. Back when Duke was, what basketball, it was like that championship year, Bobby Hurley, Grant Hill, Christian Laettner, all these college football, basketball stars there, and everybody said, man, we're going down there, man, they're going to be here in Charleston, we went down there and watched a game, and that's where we were at when they came over the loudspeakers and said, hey, all you active duty personnel need to report to your duty station immediately. We had started dropping bombs in Iraq. And we got back there to the base and we went on 12-hour shifts. Like I said, that we were one of the two MAC base, they called them back then, Military Airlift Command. We had C-5s in Dover and we had C-141s there in Charleston, and seeing all them guys out there waiting to go, and just drive by them every day. Just drive by these guys out there at the hangars, man, waiting to get on board, and they just had this look, man, on their faces, and I can't get that out of my mind. I mean, the look on these guys' faces were like so haunting, They were so scared. They were all young guys and just so scared, and I just can't get that out of my mind. I just drove by them every day, and that was my job, was to ship them guys over there, And so me, I went over there and got messed up. And I mean, that wasn't what I signed up for. I didn't think I'd be involved in all that. I thought I'd be in the Air Force, as they say, in the rear with the gear. But that put a whole different personal face on it for me. And on top of all that, my sergeant there was just every day just ragging on us, cussing at us, and hollering at us. And when I was in Germany, man, I did it by the book. On TAC base, man, TAC bases are Tactical Air Command back in the day, fighters. And there was no, if you stepped out of line, man, somebody was going to put you in check. If you didn't salute an officer when he drove by you on the street, he would pull over and ask you why you didn't salute him. At the MAC base, it was real lax. Man, nobody cared about your looks or how your hair was cut or your uniform was done. Man, my uniform was always ironed. I had to iron my stuff every day. They would pull me out in front of the whole squadron down there and say, this is what your uniform should look like. Put me on equipment that was well above my level of experience, and I excelled. Went zero defects on one of them Dash 60s. It did a 180-day periodic inspection on the Dash 60. Everything. Wheel bearings had to be greased. All the filters had to be changed. Everything had to be adjusted. The whole work cars. You got work cars. Everything had to be done. It took me a week to do it. And at the same time, I was doing with the sergeant. I was just an A1C, 2 stripes. The guy was two ranks above me, a sergeant, NCO, and he was doing one that didn't have half the stuff due on it that mine did. Mine was a 180-day periodic. Everything had to be done, and they send quality assurance down there. You know, that guy comes. He don't even work in our building. He comes down there from the base ops and says, "Man, I'm pulling these pieces of equipment for inspection. You guys saying they did a 180-day inspection. He's going to go through the work cards one by one and check every single thing that you've done. And if there's a piece of wire on that thing, that's a major violation. I got 0 defects, totally perfect. They handed me that award in front of the whole shop. And the guy that I was working at the same time with that NCO, he failed his inspection. They pulled his NCO status and dropped him down back to a senior airman. But I mean, like I said, I was gung ho, man. I loved it. I liked the equipment. I was excited about it. I did my job. I took care of myself. I was always in 3510 to get to Charleston, and it was just shit there. And then the war started, and it wasn't long after that I hurt my back, and I tried my best to just put all that stuff behind me, and the more this back pain has creeped into my life, the more, you know, that's all I have time to do. I just lay around here and think about that stuff. I try not to, but plane crashes, buildings crashing, 9/11, all that stuff, you know, just kind of brings that back into the front of your mind. You try to ignore that stuff, and you go to the VA, and they want you to talk about it every time. They ask you, you know, I'm to get tired of it. Just read the damn thing that the last guy did. You know, I should have all this stuff already in my records of why I'm here, what's bothering me. I don't have to go through it and relive it every time I see a new doctor down here. But that's what they make you do. To work out, you know, mental problems I'm dealing with, PTSD or whatever. But my back is just hurting so bad, man. I can't sleep. I just lay here in the bed and think about all that stuff. I'm after all these people for help, man. I just don't know who else to call. There ain't nobody helping me.
No, it didn't change what's on. I am glad that you called to talk to somebody. It definitely is just incredibly frustrating to hear the runaround that you've been given with all of this. Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to do everything you can, but seek treatment, seek help. It just continuously falls through. And that's not right. You don't deserve that. Nobody deserves to be ignored through that, especially the amount of pain, the amount of tragedy that you had to see, the death, the conflict that you had to go through as a member of the Air Force.
Well, like I said, man, they gave us a medal for that. You know, some guys will go through their whole career and not get that medal. You don't get that for time in service. There ain't nothing you can do to get that medal except going above and beyond, you know, your station there. You know, we were all young dudes. You know, we were all young guys. But you know, you're told that you got a job to do, and you do it. You know, but we did it with humility and with the respect for the people that died there. You know, I sat there with this old lady. There was 3 of us there. Me, another guy that was on the base football team with me. God, I can't remember his name. And 2 other guys. And the lady brought us hot tea. And sat there in her backyard drinking hot tea. Putting her lawn furniture there with smoldering A10 parts still sitting in her backyard. when she talked about, World War II, when she was saying about the protesters and stuff. You're like, she remembered World War II. I remember when my grandfather died there. I remember, these guys liberating us and how happy we were. And she was so cordial and respectful to us there as U.S. service members. We had like a 2-star general there. I don't remember what his name was, but he was like, man, whatever you guys can do to appease these people and make them feel better, if she wants to serve y'all tea there, y'all sit there as long as she wants to sit there. And there's a huge ass piece of engine there smoking, still smoking, and you just can't get them images out of your mind no matter what you do. And then, like I said, the people came up there to march. They were all young people, and they're pissed off. Like I guess rightly so. I mean, the plane was the guy. It was the pilot's fault. He shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been there doing that. We didn't have A-10s there. We had F-4s and F-16s there. They're wild weasels. They call them wild weasels. They work in tandem with each other to neutralize surface-to-air missile sites. But they were in a transition where they were getting ready to decommission the F-4s, and they were replacing them with A-10s. So that's why our base got tasked with them, because that's where they were coming. But the pilot that was flying that plane coming from Alconbury in England wasn't certified in Germany. He was certified to fly that plane in England. England's pretty much flat, but Germany is not flat. So when they were flying there in the middle of the night, they're in dense, heavy fog. He loses contact with his wingman, and he just followed his procedures. In England, it was the guy that was on the left would climb up and away, and the guy that was on the right would fall down and away. They separate, when the fog's gonna hit each other, and the guy that dives away is coming out of this dense fog. The next thing he knows, he's seeing buildings, and pulls back on the yoke, and that first building he hit, you could see he was there. I mean, he was bottoming out. The wing tip dug into that siding on that building. You could see it, and he was flattening out. I mean, he was so close to start to be able to climb back up. But when he hit the end of that building, his wing hit the corner of that structure, and it spun his plane around into the next building. And they had just refueled, so he was carrying, thousands of gallons of JP4 on that plane, and he just sent a fireball down that whole street and set all them buildings on fire. And we got there, we're on buses, and you just smell that burnt JP, that raw fuel, just disgusting stench from it. It was just horrible smell. You get it on everything. And it's just oily, greasy residue, and you just find all this stuff, man, just not right. I mean, I thought as a young man I could do anything, but you see things, and then you start to recognize, man, that's a piece of somebody's skin. It doesn't look like anything. It's like, what the hell is that? It's a big old 5 by 10 piece of just stuff. There's half burnt and half just, what is that? Just a piece of somebody, part of their skin, a layer of fat there, just something you should never. And the more we got down in there, the worse it got. Fingers and things you could recognize then. It's just not good. And you try to block that stuff out of your mind, but anytime there's any type of plane crash thing. We just had a plane crash go down the Philippines. I mean, the stuff just comes back. It just floods back into your brain. There's no way to turn it off. And you can't sleep because I'm hurting so bad, and just lay here and just these thoughts just go start running through my mind, and I can't get them out of my head. And I just feel so guilty being, just this disgusting existence that I am today, and why do I deserve to live? There's no point in it, to just sit here and suffer day in and day out. Other than for the glory of God, brother, but that only goes so far. I mean, you can only endure so much. I'm just so ready to give up. I just want to quit so bad. When I get these things in the mail, and they're saying, do these MRIs. So I've already done them. Do we go back to the hospital down here and do them again? You didn't get the last ones. And there's no way I can get up there to Houston to do them things. I ain't going to try. Said I can't even get up there to get my damn teeth in my mouth. So I just start drinking, drinking. I'll just drink and drink and drink until I can sit down there and just, drink like 10, 12 shots in a row or whatever. Hour and a half, man. You'll be so done in by that, that I won't be, it just, I'll just put the little cat out the door and come back here and lay down and just deal with it. I got
frustrating everything has been. It's horrible, the things that you've had to witness. You don't have to die for that. You don't have to die because of this thing.
I can't just stay here, man, hurting, dude. I'm hurting.
Yeah, I hear that. But you've been searching to get some kind of answer, to get something going, and all these people will keep dropping the ball along the way, and it's screwed up and it's wrong and it's horrible.
So what do I do? What am I supposed to do?
I would ask, have you contacted a program called the Wounded Warriors program?
I did, but they just seem to be like another bullshit thing, asking me for records, this that, and the other. Man, I can't deal with all that. I guess there's so many people that abuse it or whatever. I mean, the Wounded Warrior thing is the guy that's run it's already been charged, with not acting appropriately with the thing that he's running down there. And, there's the American Legion and VFW and all this stuff, but man, I don't have any way to engage all that. I can't hardly wipe my ass, man. I don't have no clean clothes. I wear the same clothes every day. I have a pair of swimming shorts and a shirt, an Under Armour shirt. That's one that they dry real fast, and I just like every 2 or 3 days, I'll take a shower with my clothes on. That's how I wash my clothes. I wash them in the shower when I take a shower, and I wear the same clothes every day. I don't have any transportation or really the ability to set up in a place like that in a chair for 3 or 4 hours. I couldn't take it. I can't sit up that long. My back's hurting me so bad. I can't sit up. I just end up getting. Well, I gotta go lay down. That's what I'm saying. I don't have anything to do with hardly any of my family. I don't know if they think it's because I don't want to go over there. It's not. I mean, I just can't. I can't endure it. I can't endure it. Getting shower and getting dressed and get in a car and go somewhere and get out of the car and go inside and sit on the couch with somebody or sit at the dining room table and I just can't. I can't endure it. It just hurt. I'm hurting too bad. But I got to go home. I got to go home. Well, we hadn't done this yet. Whatever. I'm sorry. I got to go back home. I got to go fucking lay down. But I thought about it. I've called them, but it was thing. I've called the Veteran Services officer in the county. Man, the cop's been over here 3 or 4 times. The last thing that I heard was the VA people telling me they deserved a second chance. They were going to make this right, and it was a total fiasco. The home health care people come over here and ask me the same thing that last guy did. I have anybody down there that I can hire. I'm just like, you can just go. Why the hell are you even here if you don't have an employee to come over here and do this home health care stuff? I know, and it's they're only paying them people like $10 an hour. The VA is paying like $40 an hour for somebody to come over here to help me, and the contract people are keeping like 75% of that money. And they come here and they're telling me, do I know somebody they can hire? Why is the VA paying you $30 to send somebody over here for $10, and you can't even do that? The guy called me and said, did the girl call you? I said, yeah, she called me. She said she'll be here tomorrow. No call, no show. That was like on a Wednesday. She called me on like a Friday and asked if she could come by on Saturday. I said, yeah, I don't work. I don't do anything. I don't go anywhere. I'm here 24/7. Whatever's convenient for you. Cooking. I don't, like I said, everything I eat is, I don't go out to eat. So everything I eat is either a can of soup, whatever. But if I got an onion, a chop of onion, make some hamburger patties and cook them in, my back will be hurting so bad I can't even eat. The food just ends up, sometimes I'll wake up the next day and the food is on the stove still because I never ate it. I couldn't eat. I just went and laid down and fell asleep and didn't ever eat it. They just come over here and do that. They can't even do that. She don't know how to chop an onion, poison my cat, poured pines all over the floor, poison my cat with it. Big Red didn't make it. And the guy comes over here and asks me if I know somebody to hire. Just give me $30 an hour. My cousin has a professional home care lady that cleans his house, 3 times a week or whatever. I'm sure I could hire her, but she ain't gonna come over here for $10 an hour. And then in the meantime, like I said, the VA is paying because they send me a statement saying, this is what the VA was billed for $40 an hour. And I know these home health care people because they're here, they tell me, they're paying us, $10 an hour. I'm going to hire somebody to come over here that's going to help me take a bath and wash my ass for $10 an hour.
So the home health care people still coming out?
No, like I said, the first one was some Indian guy, Pakistani Indian, I don't know, somewhere over there, Turkey, something. None of the people, American people, I don't know why. They're all foreigners. He comes over and asks me that had me sign on this paper. He supposed to make an assessment of what you need. How much home health care do you need? How much homemaker help do you need versus how much medical, like nursing kind of help do you need? Somebody help you with your medication. Somebody help you bathe. That's all different from somebody coming around here doing meal prep and things like that. They're kind of different categories, right? One of them has to be like a certified healthcare person to do that, and the other person can just be anybody. But typically, it's the same person. They pay They bill the VA $40 for the home health care hours, and they bill them $50 an hour for bathing and all that other stuff. So the guy comes over here and makes his assessment and has me sign all this paperwork or whatever. And at the end of the day, after we're done with all that, he says, "Do I know somebody down here that he could hire for $10 an hour to come over here and help me?" I don't know nobody down here. I can't leave my house hardly. I don't meet people. I don't engage people. I don't socialize. I'm at home 24/7. And once you by itself, it does not bother me to be by myself. But I don't know nobody. I hadn't lived down here for 30 years. Man, I graduated in 1985 from Anglican High School and then joined the Air Force and been going ever since. And ended up back down here 30 years later. I don't know nobody down here do that kind of stuff. But so for 2 weeks he's telling me I'll call you and ask you to know that after 2 weeks. I'm like, look, man, I don't know nobody, dude. I don't know nobody. Well, okay, well I'll find somebody. Another 2 weeks goes by. They find some girl. Okay, well, she's gonna come over on Wednesday. Well, she doesn't show up on Wednesday. She called me and asked me, can I come by Saturday? Yeah, come on Saturday. I'll be here. Well, what about Monday then? I'm like, whatever. I guess she thought I would say no on Saturday, but because I said yes, then she said, well, about Monday. I'm like, whenever. She doesn't show up on Monday. So he calls, Monday the next week or whatever, saying she show up. I'm like, no, dude, I ain't talked to her since, Wednesday a week ago. Okay, well, let me see if I can find somebody. So it's like 6 weeks of waiting for that guy to find somebody before I guess he just gave up. I ended up talking to people at the clinic over there, whatever. And this lady, they put me in the hospital for 8 days. I come back home. Okay, we need a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance. The VA deserves a second chance. And the first person they send over here is this Nigerian woman. And the first thing that she says is, do I know somebody she can hire to come over here? I'm like, no, lady, I don't. Don't worry about it. If you don't have nobody to send down here, just like the last guy and just like the people before them, just go on about your way, and y'all ain't gonna do shit. And then subsequently, like I said, I turned my phone off and I hadn't talked to any of them since then, the VA or anybody. Until I got these, my dad came by last week with these letters from the VA ordering these MRIs, and in the same thing of mail. My mail goes to my dad's house. And the same thing of mail is the bills from the other MRIs. One of them is $6,000. One of them is $7,000. So they're ordering me to do MRIs at the VA in Houston, and the same day I get the bill from the MRI, the same MRIs that they're ordering me to go do again, because they're so incompetent that they haven't been able to get. And I've had the person at the clinic down here tell me she's hand delivered them up there. The lady at the congressman's office said she was picking them up and doing something with them, and ain't nobody done shit with them. I don't know, dude. I don't know. See, I'm just trying to get through tonight. I didn't know what else to do.
Why'd you call to talk to me about it? Yeah, you don't deserve to be ignored.
I know, dude. It's just so close. I mean, it's so close. I got a little pistol, man. It's ultra compact, man. It's got like a 3-inch barrel, so I've researched it on the thing on the internet to find out. You need to get both hemispheres of your brain. You can survive with one hemisphere of your brain, so you want to make sure that the projectile, goes through both hemispheres. And so I got a little bitty pistol with a little bitty barrel, so I can with holding it in my hand, I can put that thing at a 90-degree angle on my temple. There ain't no doubt in my mind that thing ain't going to go straight through both sides. And it's a 45. And for that reason, My buddy was doing 9 millimeter. I said, no, man, I need a 45 caliber. I want something that there ain't going to be no doubt about it. People survive in 9 millimeters all the time, but not very many people make it. That 45 having like a 98% success rate. And putting it straight through my temple, man, there's not going to be, there will be no brain matter left in there. I just worry about that little cat. And my neighbors, So I thought I could say I'd get them two cast iron skillets and lay them here in the bed, put my head in cast iron skillets, and it won't go through the trailer then. It might go through one of them skillets, but it ain't going to go through both of them. And I'm going to point it straight down to the ground, so I just don't want to mess the trailer up. They can sell the trailer if somebody gets something for it. A bullet hole through it. But I put my head in that skillet, and like I said, I can put that barrel. I mean, that thing would be, straight through from side to side. Both hemispheres of your brain. Just a concussion wave with that thing going through there would tear your brain up. But people can shoot. They try to put a gun in their mouth or whatever. Sometimes they shoot that thing and they just end up blowing their sinus cavity off and end up alive. No face. I don't want to be dealing with any of that, man. I mean, that's a scary thought. The first time I went out there to the beach, man, I waded out to the beach, so I was like chest deep in water. In case I didn't die, I would drown. That was at 9 millimeter. I got a 45 now, so I ain't worried about that. I'm sure if I discharge that weapon, it's not going. There's not going to be no surviving that. And that's the main things I worry about. There are three things: surviving it, going to hell, and what's that little cat of mine going to do? So she don't know nobody but me, and she ain't going to be. She not going to come up to nobody. Should be on her own at that point. I just hate the thought of that. I mean, I know it's just a cat, but God, dude, that's all I've had for 20 years. Right before I left Birmingham, I had to put one of them down. Now I've had him for 21 years. Just an old gray, short-haired alley cat. Came from one of my ex-girlfriend's apartment complex. And then I found another little Siamese cat that was a kitten about 3 years later. I had him all the way up to 2 years ago, so he's probably 21, 22. Had another stray cat, Big Red, that home health care lady poisoned him with leaving all that damn Pine-Sol on the floor. She put Pine-Sol on the floor and just smeared it around, but didn't mop it up, and it ended up making him sick. But I found him on death's bed. I mean, he was emaciated when I found him. He was starved to death, skin and bones, and I fed him and got enough money saved up to get his teeth fixed, and he probably lived another 7 years that he would have never had I not found him. But he died last year, and all I got left was that little girl. But I have a lot of affection towards cats. They're very affectionate creatures. They're very affectionate. She'd be in a bad state if I'm not around. Especially with her being so scared of everybody. She's not going to know what to do or where to go or how to even get help from somebody. She'd be so scared of everybody. I don't know what she's going to do. I don't even want to think about it. That's what I'm telling you. I have to be able to get. I'll just have to be able to get shit faced back here enough that I'm not even thinking about that stuff anymore. But I don't want it to come to that. I mean, I don't want to die. I can't keep living like this. I just can't do it. Suffering like this every day. I suffer every day. I hurt every day. I take a bath every 2 or 3 days because it hurts so bad to take a bath. I can't hardly bend over to wash my feet and my legs. But it's just a matter of time. Like I said, it's just it's such a miserable existence. I mean, I get food from the taco stand across the street. I go over there once a day and get a taco from her. So I don't got to go to the grocery store. There's a liquor store right up the street. I can ride my scooter up there and get a bottle of liquor. I'm on my third one now. About half a gallon. And I'm only where I can drink about a third of a bottle before I pass out. I'd probably need to get at least a half a bottle or more to get into the mental state that I need to be in to deal with it. And the VA's telling me all I need to do is get some lavender smelling thing pinned on my shirt to where my back hurts to just smell that. And that's supposed to make me better. And they made that determination without looking at any of my medical records. I was going to go to Thailand, was my plan. But that COVID shit happened and shut all that down. I was getting my teeth fixed. I had them all pulled out. It took a year for that to happen. They put them inserts. It takes like a year for that stuff to heal back before you get your teeth. And that's meant to get my teeth pulled out and get them inserts in. I go over there to Thailand, and the money that I get from the VA is more than enough for me to live over there and have somebody come into my room. If you live in a hotel over there, they come into your room, every other day or whatever, and take all your laundry out, all your towels, and change the sheets. I don't do any of that. They'll come by every 2 days and do all that, and then I can just walk outside the hotel, and there's food stands all down the street, and there's a beach right across the street. And just go there and just hang out on the beach and eat that food up and down the food court there. Have somebody that comes in there every other day to change my sheets and put new towels and stuff in. But that virus happened, and all the travel shut down. And I ended up stuck down here. So eventually I went back to the VA down there and told them that I got to have some help, man. I'm not going to make it. And that's where I'm at now. After 3 years of asking them for help, with my congressman supposedly working for me, and calling the White House hotline, and calling the OIG, and everybody I could think of to call. Called the governor of the state of Texas, Greg Abbott. I just got to send some letter down here. Man, lady, I can't sit down and write no damn letter. I can't hardly sit up and do anything.
Is there any way that this healthcare people at all can help you do some of these things, like writing a letter?
They never showed up. It's the third time. It's the third time in 3 years that they sent somebody over here that they come in here and don't have no idea. The first lady that came over there didn't know how to chop an onion. They're supposed to help me prepare, but I told them, I buy like a big old pack of hamburger meat at the grocery store. I could drive my scooter over there. Before I bought this trailer there in the apartment, I could drive my scooter down to the grocery store and buy like a big old thing of hamburger meat. But if I set up and make hamburger patties and fry them in the skillet, man, my back would be hurting me like 2 or 3 days. So like at like a 10. It's just like an ice pick is stabbing me back from standing over the stove looking down. It just sets that shit on fire back there. So can't hardly do that. And they said, we're gonna send a lady over here, she's gonna help you do that stuff. She said she didn't know how to put the sheets on the bed. She couldn't chop an onion. and she poured Pine Sol all through my apartment and smeared it around with a mop, but didn't go back and clean it off. She just left that pure Pine Sol all over my apartment floor. But I didn't really snap to it, you know. I was in the bathroom most of the time, like soaking in the tub, so that's what I tell them. Like, I'm gonna go there and get in this tub and soak in this hot water with some Epsom salt. But I won't be able to get out of the tub after being back there so long without, potentially falling over. I've fallen in that tub 3 or 4 times already. So I'm gonna need some help to get up and out of the tub. And when I call you, you come back there and you help make sure my hair is rinsed off good. Cause I can't reach up and agitate my hair because my shoulders are messed up. I can't reach up above my shoulders. So then make sure there ain't no soap left in my hair because that'll burn my skin. I help wash my back and under my armpits so I don't stink. And then help me get out of the tub. And I'm calling her. I said, but I'm going to stay back here in this tub for like 30 minutes just soaking in this hot water. And I'll call you when I'm ready for you to come back here and help me do these things. And you help me get out of the tub and dry off. And we'll be good to go. And I soak in the tub. I'm calling for her to come back there. And I had to crawl out of the tub. And then stand up, holding on to the sink. Walk in there into the living room there. And she got her headphones on and listening to some shit on her phone. But I didn't say anything at that point, And the next time she comes over there, she give me shit about putting the sheets on the bed. I can't put the sheets on the bed because you're on your knees trying to put that fitted sheet on it. If I look up and try to do that, my neck, man, will cramp so bad. I can't do it. And she act like she don't know how to put sheets on the bed and pour that Pine Sol over the floor. And I can't understand why Big Red, he won't stay in the house, and all of a sudden he don't want to come inside. Because he comes inside, he's getting that damn Pine Sol over his damn feet. It's burning him like chemical burns from sitting on the floor with that damn shit all over it. Burned its holes in his little feet. So I called him and said, don't send that lady back over here. She don't know what she's doing. But they send her back a third time or whatever, and that's when she put the Pine Sol on the floor. And then the next time she come back, I wouldn't let her in the house. I wouldn't open the door. She called the cops over there, the welfare check, and they take me down there and put me in the hospital. I'm telling them, don't take me down there because they're not going to do anything to help me. The cop comes back with some people from a church, and they help me clean. They clean my apartment up. Not the helper lady that's supposed to be doing it. The cop and the people from the church came in, cleaned my apartment, putting clean sheets on the bed and all this kind of stuff. But like 3 months later, I'd call the local paper down here and complain about this VA shit, and they call the cops, and the cops come over. The same thing was in the hospital. And they're not going to help me, dude. They don't treat chronic back pain at the ER. That's not what the ER is there for. You got to be seeing your primary care doctor for that. No, we got a doctor down there, man. He's the guy. Went down there, stayed in the hospital overnight. My neighbors had come in there and cleaned up the house again, and I went and bought them cards, gave them $100 a bill apiece coming in there and do that. And when I left out of there, I gave that guy the keys to my car. I said, man, I can't drive that car no more. And y'all been so good helping me with stuff that, here's the keys and the title of that car, and you do whatever you want to do with it. I bought this trailer, and I'm going to move into this trailer, and I put it over here on this thing, and that's when they sent the second people out, the home health care people, and the guy saying that he's got to find somebody to hire to do it, and 6 weeks later, ain't been nobody over here, and I turned my phone off, and they're saying, come over to the clinic, they're going to get all this straightened out, and blah, 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 and I'm in the hospital for 8 or 9 days, and I come home, and the lady comes over here, and the first thing she says, well, I know somebody she can hire. And I'm like, that's exactly the same thing that the last guy said. You know, I don't know nobody hire you, and no, I'm not going to sit here for another 6 weeks waiting for you to figure out how you can fulfill your obligations of this contract that you accepted without having the capacity to fulfill the obligation of the contract. Why are you going to tell somebody you can do it and you don't have nobody to come down here and do it? You go hire somebody off the street down here for $10 an hour, some crack whore or something, come into my house that I'm supposed to trust. And I'm in the tub, you know. I don't know, dude. I just give up. It's the same shit over and over and over again. Even after they tell me that they know that it's all been fucked up and that they're here to change it, and they do the same shit over again. They just like they pushing you to commit suicide, like they want you to die. They do everything in their power to agitate you and aggravate you the most that they can. That's why I turned my phone off. Like I said, I just turned the phone on. Like I had to pay this bill up there at U-Haul by the 3rd. You know, they charge you $15 and then they'll put a lock on your shit. You know, so on the 3rd, ain't been nobody over here that I know, my dad, nobody. I could use their phone to call up there. I said, well, I just go ahead and turn this phone back on, you know, so I can call up there to U-Haul and pay the bill. And so I turned it back on the 3rd. And 4th of July, I came and went. You know, and talked to enough swinging. Nobody. Nobody come over here and asked me if I wanted to go to their house, there barbecue, what fireworks, nothing. Not that I blame them. You know, I don't blame them. They're the same people they always been. They hadn't been nothing to change them. I've had sanctifying fire to change me. You know, when doing all this stuff has certainly changed me to a different person, but they've just lived the same life they've been living since I was when I was a kid when I left out of here. They're the same people they always been. It's my mistake for thinking that they would be somebody different than what they've always been. You know, that's part of the reason I'm doing the service was to get out of here because my family life was so bad. And they've never changed. They had no reason to change. They're the same people they've always been. They tell you that they're going to do something and then don't do it. My dad come out here and tell me he's going to be by here and help. I'll come out here next week and I'll have you get that trailer level because it'll leak if it's not level and other things that hurt it, you know. It's all I got. I put everything that I have, every penny that I have into this thing, and I gotta maintain the best I can so I have a place to live as long as possible. And it never showed up, you know. We're gonna do this. I'll do this. I got something I can do. Oh yeah, I'll bring this by. We'll do this. I gotta bring a ladder over here and this, that, and the other. Not done none of it. You know, it's like it's so much better if you don't tell me that you're gonna do some shit that you don't do than you just don't do it. But I guess it makes them feel better to say they're going to do it. Now, I don't know, man. My cousin don't live a mile away from here. Like I said, my dad's got buildings up and down this highway. It's what he does, is build these buildings. He got 4 or 5 of them up and down this highway that he rents out. He's down here every day, 2 or 3 times. He probably drive by here 2 or 3 times a day. You know, and I don't ask for much. You know, if I go to the grocery store once a week to buy fresh cucumbers, bell peppers, things like that don't last a long time. You know, package of hamburger meat, something. Never got time to come by here. And something, you know, strikes them in the middle of the day. Some weird ass day. Oh, damn! I ain't been over here and seen that boy in 2 weeks. Go over here and see if he needs to ride to the grocery store. He brought me them letters I was telling you about. He said, okay, well, I'll come back by here, you know, tomorrow around 2 or 3 o'clock. I'll take you up there to the grocery store and get some stuff. You know, shows up. And Saturday, I went up there and was talking to the guy that runs the property here, and he said, well, I'll take you to the grocery store. And then my dad shows up the next day, 3 days after he said he was going to show up, and there was a 12-pack of Cokes out there on the thing. Oh, I guess, let's see if you need to drive to the store. I guess you already been. I said, yeah, I got the guy runs the property here to take me up there to the grocery store, but, thanks anyway. Take any time out of your life. You can't take 2 hours out of your week to come by here and take me to the grocery store. I can buy, perishable stuff. Don't last in the refrigerator that long. Vegetables, you can't freeze a lot of vegetables if they get soft and mushy, Put in the refrigerator, they might last, 4 or 5 days. But lettuce, bell peppers, things like that, man. Cucumbers, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, all that stuff. I try to eat fresh food. All I can do other than that is go to the taco stand across the street and get breakfast tacos, and that's basically what I do. I'd go over there on my little scooter, get a potato and egg breakfast taco, come back here and eat it, and try to sit up on there on the couch a little while so I'm not just laying down all day long, and be upright sometime. Shit. I just don't know how much more of it I can take, brother. See, I called that lady up there at the VA thing and asked her, what the hell's going on. She don't even know. So you work for the VA? You got access to my records up there? Well, this, that, and the other, and then hung up on me. But I guess that's better than the last one. The last one called the police over here. I didn't think they knew where I was at. So I was kind of frank with her. I don't know how they found out where I was at, but the sheriff showed up here and asked her, "Man, you called the law over here?" She said, "Well, I know what else to do." I said, "Man, he's out there." I said, "If that cop opens that front door, man, it's all be over." I was sitting back there on the couch, that pistol in my head right then. I said, "If that cop comes in here, man, I'm done." And my dad showed up, and they're out there hollering at me. I'm saying, "Y'all just go away, man. I don't want to talk to nobody right now. I'm in a bad way right now. I'm starting back here. Can't fucking stand it. Ain't nothing you can do." Take them to the ER, and they're going to do the same thing. They don't treat chronic pain at the ER. It doesn't work that way. I mean, even they just giving you pain pills. I mean, hell, they work, but you got to go, to a doctor once a month to get that pain medicine. You don't go to the ER to get pain medicine. You got to go to some guy that's what they do, pain management people. But typically, they're the ones that will order you the physical therapy and other things that you need to kind of get back up on your feet again. But hell, at this stage, I don't even know if that thing's going to work, because I've just gotten so bad. Like I said, hell, I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bad discs that I know of. There might even be more now, because more and more of them just keep going out. And now I can't hardly. I can see the man started hurting like right up under my lower. That not the floating rib, maybe the third rib up right now. Right now it's hurting so bad. I was sitting in the shower, man. I bent over and I'm like, God, and just closed my eyes, and all I could see was this bright white light, like something that you see if you got hit in the head real hard or something, man. So I could see this intense white light. When I closed my eyes, I thought I was gonna fall out. That's why I try not to get in that shower and take a shower too much, because I'm afraid I'm gonna fall out in that thing and twist one of my knees or something. I don't know whether I'm gonna fall out standing up like that. Break an ankle or hyperextend your knee. Something's gonna have to give. And just stand up in that little shower. This trailer's always got a little stand-up shower. They tried to give me a wheelchair up there at the hospital. I said, "Damn, don't y'all listen to anything? What the hell are y'all saying you do with the wheelchair? I told you I live in a trailer. I live in an RV. It's an RV. It's like a fifth wheel." You know what I'm talking about? Like a camper trailer. There ain't no room in here. That's what I told him. The only thing that's saving grace about this thing is that there's nowhere for me to fall. There's the walls are so narrow that if I fall over, I'm gonna fall into a wall. But I'm afraid of falling out them steps on the ground. I've already almost fallen down the steps outside, and right if I fall out in the shower, man, I'm gonna do something. One of my knees is gonna in the bathtub. It's my ribs. You fall in the bathtub, you fall on the side of the tub. It's your ribs. You land on your rib cage. But if you ain't got nowhere to fall over, you're gonna fall straight down, and one of your knees is gonna probably buckle underneath you, like them MMA fighters when they fall out. You gonna twist an ankle or twist one of your knees? My God, God knows how long I'd lay back there without being able to get up. Man, I'd probably be back there 4 or 5 days. I don't know, dude. I don't know what else to do. That's why I'm trying to call that damn VA people tonight. While I was laying here and I got the phone on, and they hung up on me.
I definitely encourage you to try and call them back just as many times as possible until you get hold of somebody.
Well, I did. I called him back again, and the second lady said the same thing. I'm not in Texas. You have to call back. And I got you.
Yeah. Well, where in Texas are you?
I'm just south, in an hour south of Houston, man. I'm right on the Gulf Coast. If you draw a triangle between Houston and Galveston and Angleton, I'm like maybe 15 miles, maybe 30 minutes from the beach. The way the beach runs, I mean, it runs kind of northeasterly, so there's the coastline almost wraps around me. I mean, there's due south is the Gulf of Mexico, and due east is almost goes back into the bay over there in Galveston Bay. So I'm right down there on the water, but the Michael E. DeBakey VA Medical Center in Houston is like the main hospital down here. And I've been to every clinic around that damn place. I've been to the clinic in Conroe, which is like an hour north of Houston. I've been to the clinic in Tomball, which is like 45 minutes northwest of Houston. Kind of that's where my mom lived, up in that area. And then when I moved back down here, like I'm like an hour south of Houston, so I've been to this clinic down here, and they just say shit that make no sense. Like they sent me to get my knee done. I got the MRI of my knee done at the hospital, and then had an injection in my knee in the same building where the clinic is at, like the next week. But with my back, it's been totally different. With my back, they're saying they can't do it down here, this, that, and the other. They wanted me to go to Texas City, and then they wanted me to go to Conroe, and like Conroe was like an hour past you. It would take me an hour to get to you, and then another hour to get north of you to get to Conroe. That's where you're telling me I can go? Are y'all that incompetent that y'all are telling me to go to Conroe? Really? It doesn't make no sense. I mean, they're that incompetent. It's just nobody cares. They don't have to care. There's no repercussion. There's nothing up there. I filed a lawsuit about them and just threw it away. I'm telling you, man, 22 veterans a day die. As a matter of fact, I have a YouTube channel called VA Sucks 2015, where I started posting shit about them, recording and posting on there. Them lying to me, lady telling me to sign this lease. The first guy that worked for the homeless veterans thing was telling me put on my stuff in storage and live in a car for some period of time. Because I was in an apartment, man. I was in an apartment like 4 years, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, like it is now. at that right around that point, the apartment that I was staying at says they were being bought by some different people, and we all had to be out of here by a certain date. That they weren't accepting any vouchers or housing or anything. That new party people said, I got to be out of here by this date. So I told the guy, like, I got to get out of here. And he's a homeless veterans program coordinator guy. And I tell him, I need a handicap accessible apartment that, I can use in my wheelchair. I don't have to walk around. I can roll up under the cabinets. They're all cut real thing where they're not boxes. They're like an angle we can approach it. They call it. You can approach the sink. You can approach your prep area where you're cooking your food and roll your wheelchair up underneath there. Your cabinets underneath it, so you can do whatever you need to do there. No, there's no such thing as handicap accessible apartments. All right, well, what are you telling me? I already know that there exists. I'm telling you to help me find one. I'm not asking you if they exist or not. Don't tell me they don't exist because I know they do. Well, I'm going to talk to the lady that runs the HUD, which is the civilian side of that. The HUD is normally people go for housing. The VA is for veterans, but it's all run through HUD. So I'm going to talk to the lady down there at HUD. They administrate all the paperwork and see what they can find. So like 3 weeks later, he comes back and said, man, she's on vacation right now. When she comes back from her vacation, we're all going to have a meeting down there. Well, another month goes by, and none of that's happened, And that's when he's like, well, we can put your stuff in storage, and you can just live out there in your car for a little while. And so I took like a month's worth of my medicine at one time. I just sat there, took all this medicine, thought that I would die. I just took it all and laid down and went to sleep and thought I'd never wake up again. But it didn't kill me. How it didn't kill me, I don't know. I know everybody said. They said they did, all these blood tests or whatever, and it was like 1,300 milligrams or something of this medicine in my system that should kill me. But I ended up not dying, and then he takes off and goes on vacation, and they put me in some ghetto up there on the north side of Houston. It's called Greens Point, but everybody calls it Guns Point because it's so bad up there, right? I wake up and there's people smoking crack on the other side of my balcony. How bad it was. So I stayed there for like a year and then moved out there to another place, and then that's when this old guy in Alabama said, man, you come back here and live with me and help me. We can live together and help each other out or whatever. So I got out of the VA. I got the Obamacare and moved back there to Alabama and stayed there with that old man for a little while. It wasn't working out. So I ended up, back in the homeless veterans program, but I was on Obamacare then. So I wasn't getting my medical care from the VA, just my housing from the VA. So it was by no means perfect, but I was pretty much stable. I even commented to my cousin that, I don't even think I need these opioids anymore. With the injections in my back and these muscle relaxers, I think that I can just get by on that. But like I said, that's totally non-narcotic. Those muscle relaxers are not narcotic. The steroid injection is not a narcotic. And that's when all that stuff happened and changed around, and I moved back to Houston and checked in with the VA there in Tomball and said, here's all my records from the last 3 years, and this is what they've been doing. I've been getting these injections quarterly, taking these muscle relaxers, and I know that y'all have an aversion to use the opioids, but don't worry about that. I need some help transitioning off of them, but I don't think that I need them anymore as long as I'm getting these injections and some physical therapy and some home health care. I think I'll be okay. And none of that happened. And then my mom died, within a year of that, and I ended up down here, and it's just gone downhill from there. And like I said, to the point, I just turned my phone off and didn't even want to talk to those people anymore. any of them. The lady at the congressman's office down there don't seem to know what the hell she's doing. I've been asking her for help for 3 years and not talked to the congressman one time. But, they sent my dad over here. They're calling his phone because they can't get me and saying, we need to come over here to the clinic and we're going to get all this straightened out. And, they had the head guy of the VA up there, the chief of staff, the medical side up there on the screen. All these people on the computer screen there. But, we need to go up there to the hospital. When I get to the hospital, they don't even have the images of my MRIs. So they had no idea what's wrong with my back. The whole time. The 8 days I was up there, they could have sent me down there and done new MRIs while I was in the hospital. They're supposed to be doing some kind of colon exam or test to see if I got colon cancer because I'm so old or whatever, She was trying to sell that to me when I was down here at the clinic, and I said, hey, look, while I'm up there then at the hospital, while I'm in the hospital, they can do all that stuff. They can do this colon check. If they want to do a colonoscopy, they can do that while I'm inpatient, and they can handle all that stuff in the house there. And, 8 days later, none of that's happened. And when they do come in there, they come in there and say that they don't have any of these MRIs. And I'm like, man, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all are doing. Pardon my French, but, I just got, so upset. I'm like, y'all clueless, Y'all telling me to do all these physical therapy things down there, and I'm telling you it's hurting me, and y'all don't even really know what's wrong with my back, and y'all telling me to do all this stuff. Just like that other guy did so many years ago. There had been a regular doctor. If I had insurance and gone to a regular doctor, man, that might not have lasted 4 months before I was back on my feet again. They never lasted more than 90 days. Never lasted more than 3 months. And that was way of the outside. Normally it'd be like a month and a half or something before, my body was able to kind of deal with it, or the medicine or whatever, that would reduce the swelling back there or whatever, my body would just kind of work that issue out, and I just continue on about my way. I couldn't do things I wanted to do. I wouldn't go golfing anymore. I wouldn't go water skiing or things like that because my back would get hurt real easily, but it wasn't hurting me just going to school. I worked answering the phone at a radiology company. I worked for a radiology company. I already know a lot of that stuff. Hell, they're supposed to be comparing those records with other records. When you go get an MRI, a doctor on the outside say, we want all your old records to compare to your new records. These people at the VA ain't even ask for that, and I already know. So I go to the hospital down here and do MRIs. That stuff ought to flow electronically to them up there. I don't know why they're saying that they don't have them. And I've had a lady at the clinic saying she's hand-delivered them up there. The lady that tells me they deserve a second chance. And then I go up to the hospital, and, and 8 days later, ain't nobody done anything. They don't have any of these records. And bringing up this old guy, Dr. Ghost, from the very start, was accusing me of being a drug addict or a drug dealer. He said, you're too young to have back problems. I said, yes, I am too young to have back problems. Obviously, there's something wrong. Well, you're just a drug dealer or a drug addict. You didn't waste no time on it. He knows so fucking much that he doesn't even need to see the MRIs to pass judgment or tell them what they need to do. And ordered all this physical therapy for me to do. I couldn't do it. It just hurt me. And I had 2 crushed vertebrae in the middle of my back that they didn't even know about. They didn't even find out till like 4 years ago. Oh my God, it hurt so bad. Oh my God, the sun's coming out. It's raining here. Well, there's that storm out there in the Gulf, but it's very peaceful. It's just so easy to just shift my mind and just do it. Look, they let the cat outside. Sure she have to do it. I don't even know if there's anybody that eats. So anyway, my dad knows about it. He don't think about nobody and stuff. So when you take the Uber and stuff, the next machine, I guess he get all the shit. Get this trailer and whatever I got in the bank down there. I don't know. Got some bills in here. Right up the hill. I'll have to make somewhere though. What's that? Yeah, I don't know what she's gonna do, man. She'd be totally lost without me here. I'm the only thing she knows. I mean, I think somebody got her when she was young and took her to the vet or something where she'd been fixed. It's like she's got some kind of blue thread on her skin on her belly, like some sutures or whatever. Maybe that's something some people would know if she's had surgery, but whatever happened to her, man, she don't trust nobody. I mean, it took me like 3 weeks just to coax her damn out of the roof, and even then, if anybody knocked on the door, made noise outside, she'd run and climb up in that damn thing. I had to block it off to keep her out of the roof. She'd bolt up there any time, but this place is new, man. She's gotten a lot better, but she still, like I said, she don't know nobody but me, and she don't trust nobody but me. But if she's locked out, that's all I worry about is her being trapped in here. If she was trapped in here, she would hide under this bed and nobody would know she was there. You know, they haul this trailer to somewhere to have it auctioned off or whatever the hell they would do with it. Park it out there on the street for sale. She would just be trapped in here. Nobody would know she was even in here. But if I lock her outside, she'll have to find somewhere else to go. At least she won't be trapped inside. And I really didn't think about that till tonight. I mean, she'll suck, but she won't starve to death or burn up in this fucking thing trapped in here. But she doesn't, brother, and I don't want her to. I don't want to die, but I'm just telling you, man, I can't keep on going like this. I don't know what else to do. I can't go to the hospital because they don't do shit for me there either. I'm not going back to the hospital. I'm not going back to no psychiatric ward. Anybody tries to come in here and take me out of here, that's going to be the end of it right then. I'm not letting anybody take me out of here and subject me to any more torture. If I can't take it anymore, then I want to be the one that calls that shot. And I've seen so much horrific stuff up there at the VA, man, you wouldn't believe the suffering that I've seen up there. There's people just aching, and they just not giving them any pain medicine. The guy come in there with scar tissue all over his body. He'd been burned up. And the lady's like, this is my dad, and he's hurting. His pain medicine's not working, and they tell him to take Tylenol and sending him home. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. The VA is just saying that they're not giving pain medicine unless you have cancer. They're not going to give you no pain medicine. But when they took me there to the ER, you know, they gave me fentanyl when I got there, which I told them I've already been on fentanyl. When I was in college, I had a fentanyl patch. The last 3 days, you put it on your patch on your arm, and then they gave me a fentanyl lollipops to suck on when that wasn't enough. You know, I told the guy, I said, man, I can't. I'm taking calculus. one, and I can't do it. You know, my teacher's telling me that my writing papers are all over the place. It's just too much. And he said, well, we can put you on this methadose. It's not methadone. It is methadone, but it's not like methadone they give to drug addicts. It's made for treating pain. It works a different way. Don't ask me how or why, but uh, so I'm like, yeah. I mean, I said we got to do something different because I can't take this fentanyl. It's way too strong. It's fucking brain up. And so he put me on that methadose. Well, like 90 days later, I was good to go. I didn't go back and get a refill on the medicine. I didn't need it anymore. I took it till I didn't need it. And I said, hey man, I don't need it anymore. Good to go. And it was like another 2.5 years. It was like my senior year, the last semester of my senior year. I didn't have enough money to buy all my books, so I had to go to the library on campus because any books that were like the teachers assigned in class, you couldn't check out of the library. You had to read them on reserve. You had to read them in the library. They were there, but you had to stay there and read them. And so uh, it started bothering me again then. And I went to the doctor then. They'd sent me to the UT, to the university hospital there. And I told the guy then, I said, man, I've been having these back problems all the time. I said I cope with it the best I can, but it's hurting me really bad right now. And I've got to be able to come up here to campus and be up here for 8-10 hours a day, to go to class and to study. And so, it was the same thing. It was like a 3-month deal. I had enough medicine to finish out the semester. And once the semester was over, I didn't go back. I moved to Houston and got a job in Houston and didn't end up back at the doctor for years, another years and years after that. But when it started hurting, and I went down to the VA and they put me on that hydrocodone, I said, man, this hydrocodone is not going to help me because I'm taking way, way much more stronger stuff than that. Well, that was when all this opioid shit started coming out. So, the doctor said, well, you're just wanting these pills to abuse or whatever. I'm taking like 5 of them a day. And I already told him, I said, I know this is not good for me because it's too much acetaminophen for my liver. I already had a doctor tell me that. That's why they took me off of the hydrocodone and put me on the fentanyl. And they didn't know what they were doing. He just said, well, you're too young to have back problems, and if you're here, you're just here because you're a drug addict or you're a drug dealer. And that was this Dr. Ghosh. That was like in 2009. It's 2021, and I'm in the hospital, and they tell me they don't have these MRIs, and Dr. Ghosh said, oh, I said, well, shit, why did y'all even check me in the hospital? Y'all just should have went down there and asked Dr. Ghosh what to do. He just told you just leave me alone. He knows so much. That's the guy I filed a lawsuit on. Because I feel for certain that if they had put me on the right pain medicine and given me the physical therapy that I was asking for, that, 2 or 3 months would have gone by and I'd have been back to work and on my merry way. I'd got my insurance license and sell insurance and working for State Farm. That was pretty much a desk job, but it didn't. And God's laid over there in the house and just hurting so bad. They put me on all tram and tramadol and all this other horse shit, and none of it was working. And I drank a bunch of pills one night then, trying to do it, but I messed up because I poured all of them in a glass and filled them up with water, and basically all them pills just kind of coagulated together and made like a big old ball of this muck. So I think all that I drank out of there was like the binders or whatever that had been liberated in the water. It didn't do anything for me, and ended up getting on the street and in the homeless veterans program there, but I turned her to a wheelchair, so it wasn't so bad because I'm in a wheelchair most of the time. So whenever I try to get up on my feet and do things, it starts aggravating real bad. Now, as I said, I just lay down on this bed, and when I get out of bed, I'll go in there and lay down on that couch, and that's all I do. And it's just mentally, it's very unhealthy. And then laying in this bed for hours and hours trying to go to sleep. And it's like every day, you know. It's about the time I go to sleep. You know, the sun's coming up, whatever. I just sleep, you know, during the day, 6 hours, 8 hours, however many hours I can sleep, whatever. I wake up because I'm hurting. All the pillows are on the floor, all the sheets are off the bed. Said I put a camera up there and recording myself sleeping like every 15 minutes. I'm tossing to one side or the other in the dead of sleep, crying out in pain. I just can't get comfortable. And I just said I just can't hardly stand it. I'm so ready to just give up. I don't know where else to turn for help. I've asked everybody I can think of for help. Maybe another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Probably another 2 weeks. It probably won't take that long. Because I can already drink like a third of that bottle in one night. I could drink a half a bottle of that 101. I get drunk enough that it won't. I'll be loose enough then to do it. I'll just put that cat outside. And God, I don't know what she's going to do, but at this point, ain't much I can do for her. If I can't help myself, I can't help to get cat food and put cat food down and water for her. She ain't going to be no good here anyway. But she's got her claws. She got her claws, and I guess I can meet. I don't know. It's too much planning to take her to the SPCA or whatever. It's not like I'm gonna have time to do that when I get into the frame of mind to do this. It's gonna happen. You know, probably within a 6 hour, 8 hour period. It's not gonna be time to do all that. I could probably put a note on the door outside and say, "If y'all can find this cat, you know, she's around here somewhere." Get one of the neighbors to put food out for her or something. I know there's a lady across the street that's got a couple of cats that lives in her trailer, so I don't know what else to do. But I can't keep living like this day in and day out. So I'm telling you that I've already tried to build my tolerance of these liquor so I can drink enough of it to be out of my mind and not, you know, not pass out and violently sick from it. Turn it on, get on the YouTube there and start listening to some music, and it's easy to kind of get into that the frame of mind you kind of need to be in that distance, and it just be a matter of seconds. I mean, when that mood hits, that liquor's reduced your level of what do they call that, inhibitions are gone, and you're not thinking rationally. It only take a second. It'll only take a second. And once it's done, it's done. And everything's pretty much ready for that. Other than my tolerance of alcohol, I need to build that up a little bit so that I pass out or vomit or whatever. Sit down, drink half a gallon of that liquor. Come back here, lay down, put the music on YouTube. It won't be much further than that. old stuff, play some old music, make you think about sad shit in the past and give you that one little bit of boost that you need. Like I said, it won't take much once it's done. I mean, I can't tell me all that much place I could do in my head and do it. I'm pretty sure if I'm loaded up with liquor, I'll be able to do it. I just got to get there, and I'm getting close already. I was surprised already how much of that bottle I could drink without it. I mean, I felt like shit the next day, but I could worry about hangover. I know what's gonna stop it. What's gonna stop it? What's gonna make it any different? Who else can I call? Yeah, I called and talked to somebody tonight. They hung up on me. I did, dude. They're calling tonight. So I was trying to call when I got you. VA crisis line. I guess the VA doesn't really have a crisis line, do they? I have already, man. I've worked like 10 times already. Been put in psychiatric hospital. Somebody took my damn guns away from me. Hell, they still got one of my guns down there at the police station right now. They took all of them. I went back and got 2 of them. They said one of them had some problem with the serial number. I still hadn't called under to get them. A buddy of mine lives down in West Texas. He like, so he talked about the gun. Man, I'm gonna shoot about that gun. Dude, I didn't live long enough to go talk about that gun. I got the only one that matters. Like I said, that 45. There's no doubt in my mind that 45 will do the trick one time. And I've got some high velocity hollow points in there, man. I just hate to do it. Hell, I've not even shot it myself. First time I ever shoot the gun. Last time I ever shoot it. But it's gonna do it. You know, that's why I got that 45. Man, there's no wounding with that gun. When you hit anybody in the chest area or critical area with that 45, man, they're not gonna survive that. A 9mm is a different story. A lot of people survive me shooting 9mm. Even in the head. That thing that happened the other day when they shot all the people in that house and killed like 6 people in that house. They shot 6 people and 3 of them were in the hospital alive with headshots. That's a 9mm. Anybody shot in the head with a 45 would not make it. They say, you know, I shot you in the chest with a 45, you wouldn't make it. So I'm pretty sure that I don't have to worry about that. I just got to get in the frame of mind where I don't care anymore. That's a long road, though. Saying I'm very serious about my religious conviction. I struggle with that, but if God's a merciful God, He's not going to hold me against me, I don't think, for giving up. As far as long as I fight, the only thing that's going to do is bring condemnation on the people that I've asked for help that didn't help me. They'll be the ones that pay that price, not me. And no reason to think otherwise after calling them up tonight and having them hang up on me. That was all. Well, that's just how they are, man. So many people doing it today, man. Just like Kamala Harris ignoring the border down there. You just ignore it and let it go away and lie about it. You got enough people on the payroll there to lie about it on the news and just lie about it. Don't talk about it. Let it go. Let it do whatever it's going to do. Well, who cares about all them people down there suffering? How many people are suffering? You know, so many people are suffering. And I just don't think that I have the right to do that. I'd be just better off to just be done with it. Lay that at God's feet, and like I said, whoever in that long list of people that have failed me, they'll be the ones that pay the balance on that. They're not going to be me. I just don't think God is that unmerciful, but I damn sure don't want to take that chance. But after 3 years of asking people for help down there, I don't know what else to do. I called that lady tonight and asked him, what the hell she could do, and she hung up on me. So that's enough said, I guess. I just hate you had to be in the middle of all this, but I don't mean to put all that on you. But I appreciate you listening to me. It gave me at least that much more time.
Least I can do.
Well, God bless you, man. I appreciate it.
And you're always open to call you. I know you dealt with somebody being rude to you, but you're always open to talk to them. I know it doesn't change everything, but at least know that you're heard. Somebody cares.
It does, man. I'm telling you, it does. I mean, I've called a bunch of times already. It's a way to get from A to B for sure. It helps a lot to be able to talk about it. Like I said, if I'm just trying to get through one more day, they'll be open down here tomorrow or today and at the hospital down there. And I call over there and talk to that doctor today. But if I wake up in time, no matter if I wake up, they might even not be open. Said I'm probably already drink a third of that bottle of wild turkey. So I don't even know if I'll wake up today before they're closed over there, but I'll
I know
probably.
he's been unreliable in the past, but is there any way of talking to your father, asking him to help you out today to make sure that happens?
I've already asked him, like I said, dude, ain't nobody been over here to do anything for me this 4th of July weekend. I think if they gave a shit about me, that they would have might have come over here and said something, and brought me a plate of food that said something.
I hear that.
They ain't been here. He told me he's going to be here in a couple of days, the last time I saw him. But, I ain't trying to get all up in their stuff. I got a sister. She wants to go over there and have family with them. I ain't trying to get up in all that. I've been detached from them for a long time. I didn't go over there and ask them to be a part of my life. They came to me, asked me to be a part of their life again at my brother's funeral. And in his memory, I said yes. God says honor your parents. That bothers me a lot. Even though I don't think I've ever done any to dishonor them, I just ain't got time for them. They've screwed me over so many times in the past that it was done. It was done. I went about my way. They're the ones that asked me to come back down here and be a part of their lives. I don't think they expected me to be living down here or whatever, but nevertheless, here I am, and what they've done has been abysmal, for lack of a better word. So I don't expect anything from them. They're the same people they've always been. I shouldn't have never expected them to be anything other than that. I've changed, so I think everybody else has changed. I've grown into a God-fearing Christian man and think that everybody else has managed that, but it's not that way. They're the same people that they've always been. That's their issue to deal with, not mine. It never been easy for me. My mom was heroin addict, had 5 stepdads before I was sent out here to live with this guy, and he didn't really want us here. He was much more affectionate towards my brother than he was towards me. But hell, I left out there when I was 18 years old in a fight with him. Put my hands behind my back. I never struck him. I never said anything disrespectful to him. I put my hands behind my back and said, "You can beat me all you want. It doesn't hurt anymore." You know what I'm saying? The pain has nothing to do with it. Emotionally, nothing affecting me anymore with your shit. You can beat me all you want. It doesn't hurt me anymore. And I left out of here, enjoying the service and thinking that was going to be my way out. But it's never been easy for me from day one. It's been screwed up from day one. Burned up. I was burned up, scalded when I was a little baby. Got pictures of me all burned up. Big old scars on my face and my head. But my grandmother took care of me. We lived with my grandparents for a long time. She put cocoa butter on my face every night to make them scars go away. She was so good to me. Took me down there to church on Sunday. And when it was time for me to go to school, sent me to a Catholic school there in Birmingham, so I wasn't in that terrible public school system that they had. And she implanted those things into my heart to make me the Christian that I am. But when I was, in the fourth grade, I moved out here, and my dad it's 180 degrees, man. It was totally different. He was very abusive verbally and physically, and I completely withdrew. I failed everything I was taking in school. They wanted to hold me back. It didn't matter. They put me in remedial classes, all remedial classes. They just put you in remedial classes with the retarded kids in the little special trailer out back. And all through high school, because I played football, and then they put me in remedial classes and passed me on through as a starting varsity, offensive guard. And I left out there into the service, That didn't work out because of the abuse in there. I ended up out there at Dow Chemical. I got laid off, no fault of my own there. Had learned a whole nother skill set there doing that. Been a mechanic in the Air Force, a welder in a chemical plant, and then went to the University of Texas, a flagship university. Man, that's no bullshit up there. Man, that's top 10% high school graduates go to the University of Texas. No bullshit, man. Ain't no shortcuts up there. But I did it. I got a bachelor's degree. And that's the most proudest thing. It changed me forever. There was an inscription there at the main tower. My sister went to UT. She didn't even know what's there. To show you the difference between the two. The main tower building inscription says, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." And that is it, man. That it opened my mind, and with my religious conviction, man, it's made me into the man that I want to be. I just can't deal with this physical pain and living in this condition that I'm living in. Just as filth and not able to take care of myself and keep this place clean and go out and engage in life. No quality of life, none. It's a feat just to take a shower every other day. And I dread that. And I wear the same damn shorts and shirt every day, like a uniform, just like I was in the military. The same pair of shorts, the same shirt. I wash them in the shower when I take a shower, hang them out there to dry. They're fast drying. So when I wake up in the morning, I put them back on again, same clothes. That's just no way to live. No way to live. No social interaction with anybody. Not that I crave that, but it'd still be nice to get out and go to the grocery store and do that kind of thing. Get out and see stuff. Don't just be stuck in a hole day in and day out. I'm inside of a week. I don't travel 3 or 4 blocks. I just go across the street there to the taco stand and get a breakfast taco. That's the only place I go. But now I go to the liquor store. Take that back. I go to the liquor store. And get a pack of cigarettes and a bottle of whiskey. I bought a bottle of Crown Royal, half a gallon, drank that. I bought a half a gallon of Maker's Mark. It's not cheap booze that I'm drinking, but drank that, and then I went down there. So I thought about drinking that wild turkey. It comes down 101 proof versus 80 proof of them others, and I thought that might be a better way to go because it's more potent, and I don't have to drink as much of it to get where I need to be. So that's what I got this time. I'm about halfway through that right now, but it's taking me a couple of times to get it down. I need to, like I said, I need to be able to drink like a half a gallon to, I think to be drunk enough not to care. I mean that's basically what it has to be. I just have to be drunk enough that I don't care about, or whatever it is that I do care about. I don't think about it. I'm so drunk. That's the plan. But I had this phone turned back on, and I thought I'd call the VA crisis hotline, and they hung up on me. They hung up on me. That's just part of the course, but I appreciate you, man. I really do. Don't think that I don't. You can help me through at least another episode. I think I could probably go to sleep and at least sleep 6, 7 hours. I'll probably wake up with a hangover real bad, but I don't know if I'll be able to call them. I pick up the phone 100 times to call somebody, call my dad or call the VA or whatever, and I just end up, putting the phone back down. I can't get. That's why I had to turn it off. It just that anxiety just wells up inside me. If it rings, I don't want to answer it. And the ring is it just cuts through me like a knife. I don't know why. I just get just overwhelmed with this fear. Answering that phone, I don't want to answer that phone. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is, but it is. It is. It is that way. I hear the phone ringing, man, and I just close up into a shell. If somebody come over here and knock on the door, it'd be the same thing. I'll be picking up the window, say, "Who's that out there?" Oh no, damn, it's my dad or whatever. And opens up the door, and he's got some mail from the VA and says he'll be back tomorrow, and he never shows up. So all that stuff I get kind of works together, but I put my best foot forward, and I've not answered the door when he's knocked up there. If it's him, I'll always answer the door if it's him out there. Other than the time where I was talking to the crisis hotline and they sent the sheriff over here. I mean, I had no idea that they would be able to find out because they didn't have this address. Nobody really did. I mean, I still today don't know how they were able to figure out where I was at. Unless they just figured out who my dad was, the point of contact. Maybe I don't know. I called him. Because the sheriff showed up over here, and he showed up over here, and I asked him, "Is there law out there with you?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Y'all just need to go away." And I told the lady on the phone, I said, "If that sheriff opens that door, it's over right then. And I'm not letting them take me out of here. I've already been put in the hospital, in the psych hospital and the medical hospital. Ain't none of them done shit. So I'm not letting them take me out of here again." And I'm serious about it, man. If that cop would come in that door, I'd have done it right then. I was just sitting on the couch, that gun at my head right then. But he didn't. He left out. Him and my dad. I told him to go away. I don't feel like talking to nobody. Well, why'd you call over here? I said, I didn't call nobody. I'm talking to this lady on the phone. I don't know if she called y'all. I don't know who the hell called you. I didn't call you. Which ought to speak volumes, you know. I didn't call you to ask you for help. Well, I was getting even just a little bit of help from you. I might not be in this situation, but, you know, having you tell me you're going to do something for me and not do it. I want to put some plants, you know, over here. Springtime, I want to put, you know, just a little herb garden out there, just something to give me something, you know, to mess with. A couple of tomato plants, maybe. I asked my cousin, they got these barrels from the car wash down there they used to use for tying their tents to. They had party supply bins down there. I said, man, y'all not using them barrels anymore? No, we got them all stacked up there. I said, man, I could use a couple of them barrels. I got a neighbor guy over here, he's got a radial saw. I cut them in half. I use them to plant some tomato plants in. Oh, yeah, man, just right down the road. It takes him 3 minutes to load them up and drive them down here. It's right down the street. The congressman lady worked for the congressman, brought some planters over here, 4 of them. They're not really deep for tomato plants, but I planted tomato plants out there, some parsley and oregano, or some zucchini squash, and both of him, my cousin who said he's going to bring them barrels over here, never did, and him and my dad both said they was going to bring some tomato cages over here after I had them tomatoes in the ground. Never did that. The guy at the house, I had to go buy them or nothing. They're just sitting there. They're not using them. Oh, I got some tomato cages I can bring over here. Oh, yeah, good, good. Never did it. Neither one of them. I mean, I could drive my scooter to my cousin's house right now. I drive down there to get my gas, my propane bottle filled. There's a place right down the street for $20 to put my propane in it. That's at the end of his street. And I drive my little scooter down there in 10 minutes. I'll never see him. Of course, his wife goes out of town and he ain't got nobody there around. He'll call over here all hours of the night, talk to me 3-4 hours on the phone because he's at home alone. But I ain't got time to come down here and bring me these little tomato cages. My tomato plants grew up so pretty, you know, then they all fell over on the ground because they ain't got no structure around them. I got some old sticks and some duct tape and take them up, and I got them out there growing. They grow tomatoes all over the place. But the help I asked for them guys, you know, it wouldn't have cost them not a single red cent. Just 10 minutes of their time, and they ain't got time to do that. I don't think enough about me to do that. Then why the hell would I think anything about them? You know, you got time to come by here when you ain't got absolutely nothing else to do and you want to feel better about yourself. You're going to come by here. Oh, you need to ride to the grocery store? Yeah, I need to the grocery store about once a week. Is that too much to ask for an hour and a half of your time to run me up to the grocery store? I can run it through there and buy a perishable or whatever. I might need some soap at that time or shampoo or some shit like that. And they ain't got time to do that. But tell me that they're going to come by and do it. Oh, yeah, I'll come by here on Friday, man. We'll go out and have breakfast and don't worry about the store. Friday come and go, no call, no show. It might be Monday or Tuesday, I guess, it dawned on them that, oh, shit, I'm supposed to go by there and see him. Last time we did, like, yeah, well, no, man, I got the guy runs the property taking up the grocery store. I guess he gets more sure about me than you do. And just beat the shit out of me when I was a kid. I mean, beat the shit out of me. Whipped my ass with a little damn cowboy leather belt. You know, you could see his belt had like acorns and deer heads and shit like that. You could see them on my skin. A bruise in the shape of an acorn or a deer's head where he was whipping me with that leather belt. Slap me across the face, backhand you, and have me just work like a dog. You know, I was way too little to be doing it, carrying 50-pound bundle of shingles up a ladder onto the roof. And, you know, I was like in a, a sixth grade, seventh grade. Way too young. I had to develop this what they call Osgood slaughter disease in my knees. The doctor said it caused you doing too much physical activity before your knees developed all the way. Make them like that. Worked me like a dog and beat my ass too if I did anything. He just beat the shit out of me because he's mad at work for me every one time. So I'm sorry about that. I was so stressed out about. Oh, I understand, Daddy. I understand. But at the end of the day, man, that psychological damage doesn't go away. It's there, you know. It's there. Accomplishment that I've made in my life has just been the grace of God. I think tested me there at UT. I was struggling, you know. That 9/11 happened, man. It messed me up pretty bad. I went and saw a doctor up there. They did some testing on me. That doctor said, you're reading at an 8th grade level. An 8th grade level. I'm telling you, man, that UT Tier 1 university, man, like Cornell or Yale or Harvard, it's no bullshit. He's like, I don't even understand how you're here. You know, and but here I am. You know, they tell me, well, you can get books on audio that they're already read on tape. You can listen to them. You don't have to read them. This, that, and the other. Extra time to take your test or whatever causes your anxiety. And I took one class, and this guy. I took a class of business law. Business lawyer, you know, teach a class. He owns a private practice. And, man, I bombed that first test. We only had 3 tests. You take that first test, you take a midterm, you take a final. That's it. Everything else was, you know, like class participation, things like that or whatever. And I failed that first test, man. I made like a 53 on it. And I went to his office about it. And we talked about it, man. He's like, dude, your reading is messed up, man. You're not reading. You read every little word off the page. You said you got to just glance across the page and look for, you know, the meaningful stuff and then slow down and read that. And so that's what I started doing. And went back and took that next test, man. I made like a 90 on it. He had made a brand new test, and he's like, all you kids that go to these sororities and fraternities have been studying on my old test or whatever, that if that's all you do, man, y'all screwed. Because I stayed up and wrote this brand new test. He said the TAs hadn't even seen this test. It's brand new. So if you hadn't been coming to class, y'all were F'd in the A. And sure enough, man, there was so many people bombing that class. We came back and they handed the test out, and he's like, man, I've heard all you people got, your dad owns a car dealership, and your dad works for the government as congressman or whatever. He said, don't make a shit to me. You call down here all you want to, you know. And I went to his office hours of thinking, man, there was a line of people do stretch all the way out to the street. They'd talk to him about their bad grades, and he said, well, tell you what, he said, I'm going to let everybody in here drop a test grade. So I was able to drop that bad one and made an A in that class. But it was just out of sheer, you know, just determination, man. I had to take German. I had to take a foreign language. I didn't take a foreign language in high school. You had to have 4 semesters. Foreign language. So I took German. I was in Germany, you know, for 2 years in the service. So not that I spoke any German. They all speak English over there to you. So it wasn't like it was beneficial to me other than, I mean, I had heard some of it, but I took the first semester of German, 5 hours. You meet that classmate once a day for 5 days a week. 5 hours of credit. And took it the first semester and dropped it the last day of class. That's what the German teacher told me. And then you come back in the summer and take it again. And that's what I did. And then I did the same thing for the second one. I took the second semester of German, 5 hours, same thing. Dropped it the last day of class, came back and took it over the summer, and then after that, I had it. German 3, German 4, German 5, all built off that. Once you learn the verbs and nouns and all the grammatical things, that's all I needed was that base, and so I was able to take five semesters of German. I almost have a minor in German. I'll have a minor in economics at UT. My bachelor's is in political science. I have a minor in business administration. And it just ain't no way, dude. Nobody would ever tell you there's any way that could ever happen. But I wasn't going to give up, I was studying economics. That's what I wanted, but I couldn't pass calculus. Like I said, I was taking that damn fentanyl for my back, and I just couldn't do it. And I tried it again over the summer, like I did German, and I still wasn't able to do it. And I went to the registrar's office. I said, man, I need exit strategy. And she's like, shit, man, you've got enough credits in your electives to be a minor in business administration. Just make that your minor and finish out your political science. But you got to finish that business administration program. There was 2 more classes, so I'd take one fall and one spring. And she said, and all the rest of your classes, all those other 6 classes, all have to be upper division government classes. And you can't miss one. And I didn't. I passed in my senior year. It was all upper division courses, and I passed every one of them. And like I said, I left there a different man. But here I sit today, just in squalor, barely take care of myself, and all the people I got to help me at the VA, and it's just not working out. Despite my accomplishments or whatever I've done, it's just not working out. I just can't live like this. And everywhere I turn to for help is not helping. I mean, you're helping listen to me. I know it's a lot of shit to unload on somebody, and I'm telling you, man, I've called you guys probably 8 or 9 times. I don't know. But 90% of it has been, like I said, just enough to get me through an episode. But it's getting thin. I had that lady hang up on me tonight. Like I said, I'd pretty much said after she called the cops on me the last time that was probably not going to call you guys back. But I got that pistol and came back here and laid down with that gun, and my little girl came over here and crawled up on beside me, and she likes to rub her face up against my head and purring, and I can't get past that right now. I was abandoned so much as a child, I said, hell, I had 5 stepdads before I was 10 years old. My mom had been married 5 times. I burnt up when I was a little kid. My dad brags about it. I tell the story. He was out here working for Dow, driving around a brand new 73 Oldsmobile Cutlass, and bragged to everybody how Dow Chemical offered to fly him from here to Birmingham in the Dow Chemical corporate jet they have over here at the county airport. He brags about that, but he didn't do it. Like, your son was burnt half to death, and the company you work for was going to fly you out there in a private jet, and you brag about that, and you didn't do it? How's that supposed to make me feel? You didn't care enough to fucking do that? You driving around in a brand new Oldsmobile and bragging about that when we didn't have enough food to eat? And like I said, my mom got up into heroin, and she basically was willing to give us away to anybody that would take us. Tried to give us to that old man. I told you I moved back there to Birmingham with last time with that old man. You know, he just his mother was like my nanny when I was a little boy growing up. I spent more time with her than I did with my own family. Old Greek lady. But she was so kind. Her and my grandmother were so religious. I mean, they just put Christ in my heart when I needed it the most. But she tried to give us away to him. And eventually ended up, talking to my dad and coming back here and getting us. And he didn't really want us, and that's why he was so abusive. He didn't really get two shits about us anyway. But I just was a little servant boy, mowing his grass and taking care of building his house. That stuff by yourself. You always got to have somebody hold the other end of the board or do something. Well, we did a trailer there on that property down there where we built that house. It had a 3-car garage in it. We framed it out, insulated it, hung a sheetrock, textured the roof, ran the plumbing, ran the electrical wire, all that stuff. When I was like 12 years old, and my brother played on the basketball team, played on the baseball team. My dad, he coached the baseball team a year for him, but not me. I stayed at home and did the cooking and the cleaning and the grass mowing and helping him whatever work on his projects, helping him rebuild his 73 Stingray 350 engine twice. We didn't have damn enough money to buy blue jeans or tennis shoes. He had money to waste on Craftsman rollaway toolbox, all them damn tools, and enough tools, like I said, to completely break down that engine. We completely broke down that Corvette motor and sent it off to be dynoed and blueprinted and all that shit that they do at the machine shop. Put a brand new cam in it, put all that stuff back together. And you can't do that stuff by yourself. You get somebody handing you tools, holding the flashlight. That was me, And if he wasn't happy with it, it'd be a backhand across the face, and then screaming at me because I wasn't doing good in school. But I'd completely withdrawn. I'd go out there, even today, the winter days, I'd go out there and sit down there in the sun somewhere by myself. I wouldn't play on the playground with other kids. I'd isolate myself. Just go there and daydream about being at home and think about how fucked up things were. It wasn't until I was 16 and got a job, got a car, got out of the house, that my life kind of started turning around. I played on the football team there at the high school and worked my way up there to be starting right guard, varsity football team. But that was I did all that, I didn't do none of that shit, none of it. Just like the day I graduated UT, man, there was nobody there for me. I was out there by myself. But I wanted it that way, and nobody helped me. I earned that degree by myself, and I wasn't going to share that with nobody. The only person I wanted to be there was my granny, but it didn't work out that way. But I had a bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild that I brought in Germany and had it with me all them years. I was like 35 years old when I graduated from UT. Had that bottle of wine. By then, it was probably worth $400 or $500. But that was my graduation present to myself. But I had no ring. Hell, I didn't even have my degree. Wasn't even in the frame until I came down here. At least they did that. They put my degree in a frame for me. It's up there at their house. It's not even here. I had nowhere to hang it. I told them that they put it in a frame, hang it there at their house. And my stepmom kept saying, well, you can have it back whenever you want it. You can have it back whenever you want it. And it just kind of sounded funny to me, but I don't think she wants it in her house. I'm not her biological son, and I ain't talked to him in 20, 30 years. Like I said, when I went down there to Austin, I moved down there with my sister. She was already down there going to school, and I'd been working at Dow, and I got laid off at Dow, but they gave me $35,000 package to leave. So I told her to go and find an apartment down there. You know, there was a big 2-bedroom apartment. I don't care where it's at, how much it costs. I'll pay utilities on it, but I want the big bedroom. But you go find it wherever you want it to be, whichever one you want it. You know, I don't want the master bedroom, but I'll pay all the bills except you pay your half the rent, but I'll pay everything else. It wasn't even a month. She was dating this guy. Came in there and said, you know, she's wanting to. He's out of town, and she wanted to have kind of like a girls' weekend or whatever, and I, you know, let her have the apartment for the weekend. I'm saying, you know, hell, if you'll take care of my cat, you know, I'll be gone 4 or 5 days. Hell, I'll go back. I wasn't in school yet. School hadn't started. I said, I'll be gone. I'll go back to Tim's in Houston. I'll stay there the whole week. And I went back there, and about the 3rd day or whatever, I called to see if there was any message on my answer machine, and the phone was disconnected. So I was like, man, I'm going to have to go back down there, do something wrong. The phone disconnected. And while I was gone, she didn't want to have no girls' weekend out. She was having them come down there and move all her shit out of there. She moved back into some other 1-bedroom apartment. And I told her, you know, if we can't live together, you know, I don't have no ill will or whatever. You're not happy living with me, then, you know, it ain't no big deal. But, you know, three months, they'll let me transfer into a 1-bedroom apartment here on this property, and you can go wherever you want to go, and we don't need to be any ill will about that. You know, I don't have no problem with that. You're not happy living with me, whatever. And you know, they move out on me like that, and I get in the middle of the night, and I come back, and all her shit's gone. My cat's food bowl's empty, water bowl's empty, and the phone's been turned off, which I paid the phone bill. So I'm like, what the hell? You know, I had to pay 2 more months of that apartment for a 2-bedroom apartment. Man, it was like $1,300 a month for that apartment. And that was back in 1997. And I was like, you know, fine, dude, if that's how y'all want to be, then, you know, go about your way and do your thing. And I was back then I determined I didn't pay for the phone, turned the phone off, I turned my insurance off. I got a mountain bike. I rode a mountain bike to school. Moved into an apartment down there, and right on Town Lake down there, downtown Austin. Ride my bicycle up Congress Avenue, across the Texas State Capitol, and into the university down there, studying government. Man, it couldn't have been better. You know, I enjoyed the shit out of that. I made the best of it. But I was an intern for Congressman Lloyd Doggett for a semester.
Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff to work for everything we learned and everything we have. And you're just like a lot of people in life. You've done all these different things to improve your life, yourself, help others. Live your life. It sounds like things have gotten really rough.
I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do.
So, I really would encourage you to continue doing everything you can, and even if it means you're be able to keep fighting.
Yeah, well, I got that doctor's number. I got those letters. I put them on the kitchen counter there. So I called her up and asked her, you know, what the hell this is about these MRIs. They already got them. And I asked her, you know, what the hell's up with all this other stuff. You know, that the home health care people failed again, just like the other people did. And You tell them all this time you need a second chance, and you squandered that away. When here we are, today back at square one. But I don't have any faith or confidence. What else are they going to do? Just send them back up there and see them same sorry ass people that didn't do? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm just so tired of living like this, just hurting every day. I mean, when you wake up and you're hurting, it don't get no better. It does get better. It takes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And I wake up and just lay in the bed for another hour. And but when I start to think like I want some coffee or I got some tea bags in there, I'm gonna want some tea or some coffee, then I know I'm starting to feel a little bit better because I'm having that thought of having something, when I was okay. Well, I got this little laptop and I'll carry it in there and put it in there on that couch and go in there and start some coffee and sit down on the couch and drink the coffee and tea or whatever it is. And by the time I'm done with that pot, I mean, it's a little pot. It's like a 4-cup pot. Drink 3 cups of coffee or 2 cups of tea or whatever. And then I'll take the laptop and I'll try to go outside and sit outside for a little while and get some fresh air, get on that little scooter and drive it to the end of the property down there, just look around, look at the sky, sit out there and mess around with this laptop for a little while if it's not raining like it is right now, but and come back inside at around dark and mosquitoes start to come out. I'll come back inside and sometimes I eat, sometimes I don't. But 8, 9 o'clock it's starting to hurt, and every other day I gotta take a shower, and that doesn't help anything anymore. It just makes it worse. And I come back here and lay down this bed and do the same thing. Get back on the laptop, try to do YouTube and find something to watch. I've been with a bunch of preachers and or just listening. There's a website out there that just plays the audio Bible. They just read the Bible to you and just turn that on. Like I said, up until about a month ago when I started buying this liquor, drinking all this whiskey. But it's another holiday weekend come and go. You don't hear nobody, see nobody. Just put you in a bad way, and that pain is jacking with me, and I'm just laying in here. I can't sleep. I can't get comfortable, and tired of looking at YouTube. I found a new preacher today. Listening to another preacher talk about the preacher he listened to, then I go and look him up. And this is a brand new guy I hadn't heard before. British, kind of has a funny way of delivering stuff, but it's very in depth. I mean, he's deep. Oh God, see that cramp, man! If I put my leg the wrong way, that thing just knocks up. If I'm not careful, man, it'll tear it. Man, it'll hurt for like 3 or 4 days. I got to where I can sense it, though. I mean, I can feel it now quick when it's coming, and I just got to stick my leg straight out, point the toe down, pull it back, and try to get that muscle let go of my calf and my thigh, my hamstring. But like anything in your torso, your rib cage, or anything around there, man, that stuff, there ain't no way to get it out. My neck or under my jaw, if I yawn sometimes, my damn jaw muscle cramping. You stick your thumb up in there and try to work it out. God, it hurt for days. But I won't keep you, man. I'm sorry, dude. I'm so sorry putting that on you. But I appreciate you. You helped me through another night. Sir? Well, I did. And I do, but I just don't know how much more that's going to happen. I'm just so ready to give up, man. I'm just so ready to give up. But I appreciate your time. I really do. God bless you. All right. Good night. You too.